Chapter 161. Ning Qiruwei waited for a long time, but when Jinping did not respond, the coldness in his eyes intensified. Let's not talk about me. How have you been recently? Is work going well? Ning Qiruwei's words successfully pulled Wen Jinping out of her twisted negative emotions. She barely managed to calm herself down and said in distress, "It's not going very well." When Ning Qiruwei heard her words, he vaguely guessed something. He raised his eyebrows slightly and asked calmly, "Did something happen?" "Actually, it's not a big deal. It's just that someone on the same website copied my recipes after watching my livestream and became famous. Originally, I didn't want to make things too difficult for her, so I only posted a post to persuade her to stop such infringement. I didn't expect this person to have such a strong background. Now many people on the internet are scolding me, and the program team is also." Wen Jinping's words were sad and aggrieved. If it were any other day, Ning Qiruwei would have comforted her with heartache. But today Ning Qiruwei was silent for a moment and asked in a low voice, "Does Hu Xiaofeng know about this?" Xiaofeng? Wen Jinping was stunned. Usually this person would not ask her this question. "Xiaofeng has been busy recently, so I don't want to bother him with such trivial matters." "You don't want to bother him, so you use it to bother me?" Ning Qiruwei suddenly felt a little annoyed. "Oh." Wen Jinping was dumbfounded. "Just a no. Usually at times like this you are very enthusiastic, right?" Without waiting for Wen Jinping to think more, Ning Qiruwei asked calmly, "By the way, you told me before that Hu Xiaofeng had to break off the engagement with Miss Su in public because the Su family was unwilling to break off the engagement. Did he tell you this? Or did you guess it yourself?" "Brother Qiruwei, why are you suddenly asking this? Did someone tell you something? How do you know that someone told me something? Can't I be curious?" "That's not what I meant. So which one is it?" "He told me, and I saw it with my own eyes." "Then you said that Miss Su went to your school to make trouble for you. Was it in public, or was there anyone around?" Wen Jinping did not understand why Ning Qiruwei suddenly asked about this, but it did not stop her from feeling guilty. "She said she wanted to talk to me alone, so." "Is there no one around?" "Yeah. I understand." The warmth in Ning Qiruwei's eyes completely dissipated, and he already had a conclusion in his heart. Wen Jinping could not see Ning Qiruwei's expression, but her intuition told her that something was leaving her. She was inexplicably flustered. "Qiruwei, it's time for my treatment. I'll contact you next time." After Ning Qiruwei finished speaking, he did not wait for Wen Jinping's reaction, and directly ended the call. Wen Jinping listened to the busy tone, and took a while to react. Did Ning Qiruwei hang up on her? Her last hope was shattered, and Wen Jinping could no longer suppress the anger in her heart. She flipped the table next to her. "You usually say nice things, but when it comes to critical moments, none of you can be relied on. None of you can be relied on." Wen Jinping threw everything she could get her hands on, and her face became crazier and more twisted. The gentleness she had when she was talking to Ning Qiruwei on the phone just now was nowhere to be seen. Ning Qiruwei hung up the phone and felt that he was a fool for feeling sorry for someone during this period of time. Chapter 162. Yang Jinyu arrived at this time. When he saw this scene, he thought that Ning Qiruwei had given up on himself because of his illness, so he quickly stepped forward to stop him. "What are you doing? Even if you're sick, you can't give up on yourself. Aren't there doctors around? There will always be a way." Ning Qiruwei was slightly startled and looked at Yang Jinyu in surprise. "Why are you here?" Yang Jinyu saw that Ning Qiruwei did not do anything drastic, so he breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. "I sent you a few messages, but you didn't reply, so I knew something might have happened to you. When I called, it was your agent who answered. He told me that you were sick and are now in the hospital, so I rushed over." Yang Jinyu glanced at Ning Qiruwei cautiously as he spoke. Before he came, he had roughly learned about Ning Qiruwei's condition from Ning Qiruwei's agent, and knew that it was a serious illness that could become serious if he was not careful. Because of this, when he saw Ning Qiruwei pounding the bed, his first reaction was to think that Ning Qiruwei was worried about his illness. "Don't worry. Since we already know about your condition, we will definitely find a treatment soon. and let you get better as soon as possible. Okay. Ning Chirue had not recovered from the huge shock that the gentle girl he liked was actually a beautiful snake full of lies. His whole body was a little weak. Yang Jinyu saw that he was getting more and more anxious, and a hint of struggle flashed in his eyes. He gritted his teeth and said, "Actually, I came here today to tell you that if the hospital can't help, you can try medicinal cuisine." Medicinal cuisine? Ning Chirue felt that this term was a little familiar. Well, not long ago, a friend of mine also had a relatively difficult illness. He saw many doctors, but they all said that there was no way. Later, by chance he drew a medicinal cuisine in a live broadcast room, and it really worked after eating it. Yang Jinyu was about to sell it, but when he looked down, he met Ning Chirue's indescribable eyes. "What's with your expression?" Generally, sentences like "my friend" and "my relative" are referring to themselves. Ning Chirue looked at him meaningfully. "What's the more difficult illness? Is it because you've been with a lot of women and finally got your retribution?" Yang Jinyu did not expect Ning Chirue's mouth to be so poisonous. He hit the nail on the head, and his whole body froze. Ning Chirue just said it casually, but he did not expect Yang Jinyu's expression to change after hearing it. "It's true. TSK. I can't believe that the CEO of the Yang Group, the famous playboy in the upper-class circle, can't do it. If this were to spread, it would be big news." Ning Chirue saw that Yang Jinyu's face was green and white, and he looked like he could explode at any time. He quickly restrained his smile and said, "Then continue. After you were impotent, you drew a medicinal cuisine in the live broadcast room. What happened then?" Chapter 163. Your whole body is warm? Ning Chirue's focus was a bit off. He glanced at Yang Jinyu again and said with a half-smile, "So that person is really you. Otherwise, how could you know so clearly?" Yang Jinyu was speechless. As the two were talking, Ning Chirue's agent suddenly opened the door and walked in with 2 heavy lunch boxes in his hands. "Chirue, your dinner is here." "It's so late and you haven't eaten yet?" Yang Jinyu frowned slightly and stepped aside to make room for his agent. The agent skillfully set up the table, opened the lunch boxes, and took out a bowl of soup, porridge, and a fish. As soon as the box was opened, the aroma of the food inside immediately wafted out and spread throughout the ward. Ning Chirue muttered uncomfortably, "It smells quite good." Yang Jinyu was completely dumbfounded. He glanced at the 3 familiar dishes on the table, especially the fish. When watching the live broadcast, he and the other audience members were jealous that the fish would end up in someone's stomach. As a result, this fish appeared so blatantly in front of him and on his good friend's dinner table. This. Yang Jinyu pointed at the fish with a trembling finger, looking like he could faint at any time. Ning Chirue was shocked. "What's wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?" Yang Jinyu wiped his face and slammed the table. "Where did you get this food?" "My brother found a doctor to treat my illness. This food was sent by the doctor. He said that eating it together would be good for my illness." When Yang Jinyu heard this, he finally couldn't help but swear. F***ck. He now felt that he had just exposed his shortcomings and tried to sell benefits to his good friend. It was really stupid. Su Yiyan, who did not know that she had been discovered by the audience and was on the verge of exposing herself, was busy preparing the next few dishes. Considering Hu Chenhuan's taste, Su Yiyan made boiled pork slices, mapo tofu, dry-fried pork ribs, and Sichuan-flavored hoof soup this time. These dishes were the type that had a strong taste. As soon as they were out of the pot, the smell drifted all the way out of the kitchen, attracting the gluttonous worms. When Su Yiyan finished cooking, Mr. Su and the others' necks were almost stiff. Su Yiyan took out a portion of the dishes and packed them up. Then he asked someone to bring the dishes out first. At the fastest speed, he stir-fried the sweet and sour pork and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. Cheng Xiuqin and the others had eaten a lot of spicy boiled fish when she made it last time. They probably liked the taste of this dish. It was just that eating too much spicy food would be a burden to the old man's stomach, so they prepared some other dishes for him to choose from. After doing all this, Su Yiyan didn't have time to eat. She first sent out the packed food. It was Gu Xiaoyang, who was temporarily assigned to take the food. After Su Yiyan handed the food to him, he gave him a bottle of hot drink. Thank you for your hard work. This is mint tea. Drink some to relieve your nose's discomfort. Gu Xiaoyang was stunned. He had a slight allergic rhinitis. It was fine usually, but when the season changed or the weather was cold, he would sneeze nonstop. His nose was always uncomfortable. Yu Zian and the others knew about this, but he didn't expect Su Yiyan to be so attentive to find out. She even specially prepared a cup of tea for him. Chapter 164. This had nothing to do with Su Yiyan's attentiveness. She only knew that Gu Xiaoyang had rhinitis because she had heard others mention it when she was with Hua Chenhuan in her previous life. In her opinion, anyone who treated Hua Chenhuan well was one of her own. Since he was one of her own, it was no big deal for her to take care of him. After sending Gu Xiaoyang off, Su Yiyan suddenly heard a system notification in her head. Congratulations on snatching the female protagonist's golden finger progress +5. The current progress is 10%. Please continue to work hard and snatch more golden fingers from the female protagonist as soon as possible to change her fate. Su Yiyan suddenly stopped in her tracks and said in surprise, "It increased by 5% all of a sudden? What happened?" She had worked so hard to do live broadcasts and beat up Hua Xiaofeng in the beginning, but she only managed to increase the progress by 5%. After testing, Ning Chirue, who was an important assistant to the female protagonist in the early stage, has deviated from the main plot and indirectly affected the development of the male and female protagonists in the later stage. Therefore, the progress has increased by 5%. Deviated from the main plot means Ning Chirue is no longer the female protagonist's assistant. Just now, he blacklisted the female protagonist after talking to her. Blacklisted? Other than someone who had completely seen Wen Jingping's true colors, Su Yiyan could not think of any other reason that would make this former bootlicker voluntarily blacklist the main character. It was not in vain that I spent so much effort to treat him. At least he realized that he was wrong. Otherwise, no matter how good I am, I can't cure his brain. After sighing, Su Yiyan was in a good mood and hummed a tune as she entered the house. She was not the only one who was in a good mood. Hua Chenhuan looked at the steaming dishes in front of him. At a glance, he could tell that the dishes were prepared according to his taste. He glanced to the side and accurately caught the movements of Yu Zian and the other two's throats. "Does it smell good?" The three of them were stunned and looked at each other stupidly. Yu Zian then replied expectantly, "Yes." Hua Chenhuan nodded solemnly and said, "Yes. Even if it smells good, I won't let you have it. It's all mine." That's it. Yu Zian's head was filled with question marks. This was different from what he had imagined. Hua Chenhuan continued to eat under Yu Zian's resentful gaze with a clear conscience. The spicy boiled meat slices had similar ingredients to the spicy boiled fish, but it lacked the freshness of the fish and had the softness of the steamed meat. It was crisp and tender and went well with rice. The mapo tofu crumbled with a single poke. It could only be scooped up with a spoon and swallowed without chewing. Needless to say, the pork ribs had a slightly spicy meat aroma. Paired with the refreshing cucumber, it made people want to swallow their tongues. Lastly, he drank a mouthful of pork trotters soup. The gelatinous substance of the pork trotters had already melted into the soup. It was fragrant and mellow, and the aftertaste was endless. After Hua Chenhuan tasted the food one by one, she seemed to have thought of something. She raised her head and looked at the three of them. "Have you guys eaten yet?" "Yes." "What are you eating?" Hua Chenhuan was so talkative today that the few of them were a little overwhelmed. Nutrient solution. Nutrient solution. The food was delivered from Chuanyan Restaurant. Chuanyan Restaurant was a famous high-class restaurant in the city. Yu Zian and Gu Xiaoyang immediately glared at the traitor who ate all the food by herself. Hua Chenhuan asked excitedly, "Is it as good as Yin Yan's food?" "No." Only then did Hua Chenhuan reply contentedly, "Okay." He continued to eat. Chapter 165. The three pitiful bachelors had to watch their young master eat delicious food in the middle of the night. Not only were they drooling, But they were also forced to accept the critical hit from the couple. Fortunately, Su Yiyan gave Gu Xiaoyang a bottle of peppermint tea before she left. It finally soothed a certain someone's heart that was riddled with holes because of his young master. However, as soon as he took it out, the faint fragrance attracted the attention of the two people beside him. "What's that in your hand?" The sharp-eyed Yuzian could tell that the subtle fragrance came from the thermos flask in Gu Xiaoyang's hand. Gu Xiaoyang did not hide it. He poured a small cup from the flask and drank it. The coolness of the mint paired with the mellowness of the tea was refreshing. His nose, which had been a little stuffy for the past 2 days, seemed to be much better, just as Su Yiyan said. "This is mint tea. Miss Su gave it to me. She said that it can relieve the discomfort in my nose." Yuzian and Yuzian were stunned when they heard Gu Xiaoyang's words. They looked at each other and said, "How did Miss Su know about your nose?" Maybe young master told her? Perhaps it was because she was observant enough to notice it. Anyway, she knew about it and specially prepared this for me. As a qualified Su boaster, Yuzian stared at the bottle in Gu Xiaoyang's hand. He was touched and envious. "That's great. Our future young madam is really a heartwarming little angel. Not only does she think of young master wholeheartedly, but she also cares about young master's subordinates and makes medicinal cuisine for us. You don't know, but the medicinal cuisine in Miss Su's live streaming room is really priceless now. It's made with freshly cultivated ancient earth herbs. You can't buy it even if you have the money." Yu Xian's eager little eyes were so obvious that it was hard for Gu Xiaoyang to ignore it. After hesitating for a moment, he poured a small cup and handed it to Yu Xian. "Try it." Yu Xian's eyes lit up. He took the half cup of mint tea and drank it carefully. After he was done, he sighed with satisfaction. "It's delicious." Zui Yanbai was not very interested in the tea. Now that he saw the two of them like this, he was interested and took the initiative to ask, "What about me?" Gu Xiaoyang immediately took 2 steps back with the bottle in his arms. He waved his hand and said in disdain, "Go away, go away. You still have the nerve to say that. We were so busy today that we even drank nutrient solutions for dinner. You, on the other hand, ordered takeout from a high-end restaurant and ate it all by yourself." Yu Xian echoed, "That's right, traitor. If you don't let me drink, I'll tell young master. Think about it. If young master knows that Miss Su specially made a bottle of tea for you, what will the consequences be?" Gu Xiaoyang's expression stiffened. Young master is not that stingy. Young master is indeed generous in other aspects, but when it comes to Miss Su, you know. UB*TCH. What they didn't know was that the young master, whom they thought was very stingy, didn't return to his room immediately after dinner. Instead, he sat on the railing on the 2nd floor and looked down at the entire farce below him. Chapter 166. Su Yiyan went upstairs after having dinner with her family. As soon as she entered the house, she received a video call from Huachenhuan. Her eyes lit up. "Have you eaten? Do you like the food I made at night? Is there anything you particularly like? I'll make it for you next time." Huachenhuan looked into Su Yiyan's sparkling eyes and smiled unconsciously. "They're all delicious. I like them all. It seems that you still don't have enough choices. I'll make something else for you tomorrow." "Ah no, we're going to meet tomorrow. I'll make some snacks for you. Do you like sweet things?" "Sweet?" Huachenhuan was stunned. He nodded and said, "Yes, I like them." "Then I'll make egg tarts and cakes for you tomorrow. I'll also make a bottle of freshly ground soy milk. Soy milk is the warmest in this weather." "Okay." Huachenhuan's eyes showed some expectation. Then he asked in a low voice, "Did you prepare tea for Xiaoyang today? You saw it. Are you jealous?" Su Yiyan knew that Huachenhuan was a good person, but he was a little jealous. She hurriedly explained, "I saw that he came to get the food alone. It's hard on such a cold day, so I thought I'd help him if I could. To put it bluntly, it's because he's your man that I want to take care of him. If it were someone else, I wouldn't be so carefree." Huachenhuan knew what she meant. Just like Gu Xiaoyang, she also knew that she gave him tea because she loved him. In the end, she cared about him. Therefore, when Huachenhuan heard them talk about it, he was not angry. Instead, he was more concerned about They said you're a little angel. Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. She smiled faintly and said, I'm not. You are. Even if I am, I'm only your little angel. Moreover, it's only if you're here. As long as you're here, I'm a little angel. If you're gone, an angel will also degenerate into a demon. Just like you after I passed away in my previous life, you lost your warmth, and in order to take revenge, you didn't hesitate to make the world your enemy. Su Yiyan knew that Hua Qinhuan could appear fearless in front of everyone except for her. He was worried that he would hurt her and be unworthy of her. Su Yiyan wanted to tell him that no one in this world was better than him, that no one was more worthy of her. However, it was useless to talk about this kind of thing. She hoped that she could use her actions to tell him these things and make him feel at ease. Hua Qinhuan seemed to have noticed this as well. The expression on her face gradually softened. Previously, you said that your grandfather wanted to meet me. I'm free these few days. All right, I'll ask Grandpa tomorrow to arrange a time for a family gathering. Hua Qinhuan was warmed by the words family. He agreed without thinking, okay. Dundun, who was standing guard not far from Hua Qinhuan, seemed to have heard these 3 words. It ran over and barked at Su Yiyan. Dundun? What's wrong with it? It's probably complaining that we haven't brought it to see its little fiancé for a long time. When Dundun heard this, it immediately barked twice in excitement. Obviously, it agreed with this statement very much. Su Yiyan then remembered that during this period of time, she had to take over the entertainment company's affairs and live stream to help her family recuperate. She had forgotten to ask how Ling Xiaoqi was doing. Chapter 167. Poor Zai Zai thought that this matter was over, but when it was suddenly mentioned again, it immediately exploded. It roared at its owner with all its might, resolutely refusing to do this inhumane thing. Su Yiyan was amused by her dog's emotional and sorrowful barking. After laughing for a while, she said compassionately, Oh, I forgot. If you get a vasectomy now, even if Hua Hua is willing, you won't have the chance to make it give birth to a puppy for you. So forget it. Woof, Dundun's last bark was sorrowful. Coupled with its sad little eyes, those who didn't know would think that they were abusing dogs. Cough, literally abusing dogs. Okay, I'll ask about your mother-in-law's recent situation first. In 2 days, I'll take you to see the love of your dreams. You'd better behave yourself these few days. Don't always cause trouble. Otherwise, I won't take you, okay? Dundun barked again. It obediently lay on the table and looked at her with eager eyes, as if to say, I'm good, you have to keep your promise. Su Yiyan really couldn't do anything about this clown. She turned to Hua Qinhuan and said, Take good care of our Zai Zai. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. The next day, Su Yiyan got up early to prepare the snacks that she had promised to make for Hua Qinhuan the day before. The egg tart liquid was not complicated. She just had to mix it according to the ratio. The real difficulty was making the egg tart skin. The process was particularly complicated and time-consuming. Aunt Li was already used to her young mistress running to the kitchen for no reason. She would always make some dishes that she had never seen before, but they were extremely fragrant. At first, Aunt Li was a little worried that her master's cooking skills were so good that she would lose her job. Later, she saw that the masters of the house didn't mention this matter much. Usually, when Su Yiyan didn't cook, they would all eat the food she made. She gradually felt relieved. When she saw Su Yiyan walking around in the kitchen as if she was looking for something, she couldn't help but ask, Young mistress, are you looking for something? Do we have a mixer at home? Yes. It's just that I don't usually use it. It's all in the corner. I'll find it for you. The family usually ate stir-fried vegetables, so this blender really didn't have much use. It was only occasionally used to make juice, so it was no wonder that it was thrown in a corner and couldn't be found. Miss, are you going to make juice today? Aunt Li asked curiously as she moved the blender out. No, I want to make some egg tarts and cakes. Egg tarts and cake. It was another dish she had never heard of. As if seeing Aunt Li's surprise, Su Yiyan smiled and said, I'll make more in a while and let you all have a taste. Okay. Then I'll go out first. If Miss needs any help, just call me. Most chefs didn't like to be watched by others when they were cooking. Aunt Lee was tactful and left first. Yes. After sending Aunt Lee away, Su Yiyan found some flour with high and low gluten. After spending nearly an hour, she finally made dozens of egg tarts. After that, she put the egg mixture in and baked it in the oven for more than 10 minutes. After putting the egg tarts in the oven, Su Yiyan began to make small cakes. The cake base was easy to make, but after the cream was made, Su Yiyan tried to draw a cartoon version of herself and Hua Qinhuan on the cake for a while. She found that it was a little difficult, and the finished product wasn't particularly good-looking. Chapter 168. The sweet aroma of egg tarts and cakes was quite strong, especially when they were baked. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that the aroma wafted 10 miles away. The men, on the other hand, weren't particularly interested in sweets. Although they felt that the aroma was really fragrant, they didn't show any shameful expressions of desire. Cheng Xiuqin and Qin Xueru weren't as calm as them. They followed the aroma all the way to the kitchen and asked eagerly, "Yin Yin, what delicious food are you making now? Why is it so fragrant? Is it ready?" Okay, these are egg tarts. Eat them while they're hot. The egg tarts won't be crispy when they're cold. As for the cake, I left a big one for you. I'll bring it out later. Cheng Xiuqin took the plate of egg tarts from Su Yiyan and happily followed Qin Xueru out. As soon as she walked out of the kitchen, she couldn't help but take one and stuff it into her mouth with a look of enjoyment. It's delicious. If I knew that Yin Yin had talent in this area, I would have let him learn it earlier. Even if you say that, you have to be willing to do it. But Yin Yin's food is really delicious. Not only have I not continued to lose weight these days, I've gained a lot of weight. If this goes on, I won't bear to go back. Then don't go back so quickly. Stay for a few more days. There's nothing to do anyway. It's not a bad thing to let Yin Yin nourish your body more. Qin Xueru subconsciously touched her stomach and smiled. She didn't say anything else. Su Yiyan spread cream on the big cake. After she finished painting it, she asked Aunt Lee to bring it out. She asked her to help distribute the remaining egg tarts to some of the old servants who had worked in the house for a long time. She carefully put the egg tarts and the only small cake into a paper box and packed it. Then, she took the boiled hot soy milk and went out. As soon as she walked out of the small kitchen, she ran into her grandfather. "Are you going to see that kid from the family, Hua?" "Yes." "Imph." Old Master Cheng snorted. After expressing his dissatisfaction, he got down to business. "I've done what you asked me to do." "Thank you, Grandpa. I knew Grandpa was the best. As long as you make a move, there is nothing you can't do." Old Master Cheng felt smug from the compliment, but his face was still taut as he sternly said, "Don't flatter me. Have you really decided to hand over this matter to the Research Institute? You have to know that these things will bring you great benefits if you take them out. No matter how great the benefits are, it's useless if you don't have the life to enjoy them. This was never what I wanted. It's fine to give it to the Research Institute. At least they can help me withstand some external pressure. Moreover, didn't you also fight for some convenience for me? Just in terms of the price, I have enough right to decide and share. With this alone, I think I won't have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of my life, even if I don't take the family's money." Whether it was money or reputation, neither was the most important thing to her. To put it bluntly, she had chosen to let her grandfather hand those things over to the Research Institute, because she hoped that the Research Institute would owe her grandfather a favor and seek protection for herself. If something like her previous life happened again in the future, at least someone would stand up and protect her family. Not everyone in this world was selfish, and not everyone was selfless. When the things you want to do inevitably touch the interests of some people, the only way to prevent yourself from being hurt is to let the people's long-term interests coexist with you. Chapter 169. Old Master Cheng seemed to have seen through her thoughts. Feeling helpless and distressed, he rebuked her. "You're so promising. My grandfather, father, brother, uncle, and future husband are all so outstanding. Why do I need to be so promising? What she wanted from the beginning to the end was for herself and her family to be safe and successful for the rest of her life. I'm relying on you to protect me for the rest of my life. You can't get rid of me even if you want to. Old Master Chung rolled his eyes at her. Forget it. Since you have your own ideas, I won't ask you anymore. It's fine as long as you know what you're doing. Su Yiyan's heart warmed. She was extremely grateful for this old man's tolerance and love for her. Even when she had taken out those things for the first time and showed them to him, he had obviously been extremely surprised. However, after she expressed that she didn't want to say more, he chose to be tolerant and didn't ask any more questions. He even took the initiative to help her make up an excuse to fool the people in the research institute. After they finished talking about business, Old Master Chung didn't ask her to stay any longer. He only reluctantly reminded her, "You must come back before 10 o'clock tonight." Chung Xiuqin and the others chased after them and added, "You can't stay overnight. You can't kiss. You can't do anything other than holding hands." Su Yiyan. Aren't you guys thinking too much? When Hua Chenhuan saw Su Yiyan, the first thing he saw was her almost completely red ears. He raised his eyebrows slightly and vaguely guessed something. "Did you wait long? Sorry for the delay." When Su Yiyan saw Hua Chenhuan's eyes light up, she immediately went forward and hugged him. In fact, she wanted to hang her whole body on Hua Chenhuan's body and be at ease as a human pendant. Unfortunately, it was a little difficult for Hua Chenhuan to fulfill her wish now. When she thought of this, Su Yiyan couldn't wait to get married. As long as she got married, she could logically move into the family Hua mansion and start her treatment. "It's fine, we just arrived." Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyan's cold hand and rubbed it. She frowned and said, "It's cold outside. Let's get into the car first." Yes. As soon as the two of them got into the car, Su Yiyan took out the cake and egg tarts from the box. "These are the cakes and egg tarts I made. Try them and see if you like them. Oh, by the way, there's also soy milk. I ground it just now and it's still warm. Drink some to warm your body first." Hua Chenhuan took the soy milk and touched it. Sure enough, it was still warm. It felt warm and comfortable in her hands. However, his first thought was not to drink it. Instead, he pulled Su Yiyan's hand and covered it with his. As a result, the scene in the car changed to Su Yiyan's hand holding the cup, and Hua Chenhuan's hand covering the back of Su Yiyan's hand. Her palm and the back of her hand were both warm. Soon, Su Yiyan's cold hand was warmed up. Yu Zian sat in the driver's seat. He wanted to see what was going on in the back seat through the rearview mirror. What entered his eyes was this sparkling scene. It almost blinded his titanium dog eyes. "Your scarf." Su Yiyan's hand was covered. She finally noticed the snow-white scarf that Hua Chenhuan was wearing today. Wasn't this one of the scarves that she had chosen for Hua Chenhuan when she went shopping with him last time? "It doesn't look good?" "No, it looks good, very good. You're super handsome today." "Yes." Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up, and the tips of her ears turned red. Chapter 170. Su Yiyan held the cup of soy milk for a while, and felt that her hands had warmed up a little. She began to urge Hua Chenhuan to eat. "Try this egg tart. It's been baked for a while, and it's a little cold. The outer skin might not be as crispy as before." Hua Chenhuan took a bite of the brightly colored egg tart from Su Yiyan's outstretched hand. The slightly cold skin of the egg tart was a little chewy, and the golden liquid was soft and fragrant, just like the person beside her. "It's delicious. I'm glad you like it." Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief and took out the exquisite little cake. "I wanted to draw two people and a dun-dun, but I found it difficult to draw people. Let me practice a little more. On the day of our wedding, I'll make a big cake and put it in the living room of the old mansion. What do you think?" Hua Chenhuan's eyes lit up when he heard that. "Okay." Su Yiyan was relieved to see that Hua Chenhuan didn't reject the two things. She passed the other one she prepared to Yu Zian. "Time is limited, and it's a little troublesome to make a cake. I only made two. One is at home, and the other is for your young master. I made quite a lot of egg tart. Take it back and try it with the others later." Yu Zian, who was driving, was almost moved to tears. He instantly forgot about the anger from being abused. While waiting for the car, He hurriedly took the box that Su Yiyan passed to him. Thank you, Miss Su. I'll definitely take it back and share it with the others. Yu Zian stole a glance at Hua Chenhuan when he said this. Seeing that he didn't have any reaction, he happily placed the box of egg tart in the front seat. He couldn't help but take a few glances at it before he drove off. Those who didn't know better would think that he was looking at his dream lover. After arriving at the hospital, Hua Chenhuan accompanied Su Yiyan upstairs while Yu Zian waited downstairs. As soon as the two of them left, Yu Zian shot a short video. It was a 360-degree loop, trying to capture all the scrumptiousness of the egg tarts in this short video. After taking the picture, Yu Zian enjoyed it for a while before sending it to the group of 3. He said happily, "Look, what's this?" Although Zhuo Yanbai and Gu Xiaoyang were both in the company, their working hours were relatively flexible, so they replied almost instantly. Lai Gu Qiang. F***ck. What kind of peerless cutie, no peerless delicacy was this? Hand it over and I won't kill you. Silence like a pine tree. Is this food? Fisherman Zian. Hee, I didn't waste so much effort to get this spot today. Young madam made some snacks and drinks for young master. And she also prepared some for us. She was so considerate and kind. Sob, sob, sob. I was so touched that I was about to cry. Lai Gu Chaoyang. Jealousy makes me ugly. JPG. Jealousy makes me cry. JPG. Jealousy makes me dissociate. JPG crying. JPG. Why wasn't I the one who went with her today? Quiet as a pine, us? So all of us have a share? Fisherman Zian. It's me and Xiaoyang. You don't have a share. Lai Gu Qiaoyang. Yes, you don't have a share. It's all me and Zian's blissful. JP quiet as a pine. You guys are openly abusing your power for personal gain and embezzling public property. Fisherman Zian, so what? Young madam only said that she would let us have a taste. She didn't mention any names. Since it's in my hands, I have the final say. Lai Gu Qiaoyang. That's right. Traitors have no right to speak. Get lost. Righteous. JB. Chapter 171. Su Yiyan did not know that the snacks she made had once again witnessed a fake brotherly relationship. When she wheeled Hua Chenhuan into Ning Qirui's ward, she was surprised to find that there was another person in addition to Ning Xiyuan. This is... Su Yiyan frowned and looked displeased. She had confirmed the time of visit with the Ning brothers before she came, and this person was still in the ward at this time. Obviously, the brothers had agreed. Su Yiyan was a little dissatisfied with the way the two brothers casually revealed the fact that she had treated Ning Qirui to others. As if he could read Su Yiyan's mind, Yang Jinyu quickly stepped forward like a little fanboy and wanted to hold Su Yiyan's hand. Su Yiyan was shocked, and Hua Chenhuan immediately pulled Su Yiyan to her side. Her sharp gaze was like a sharp knife cutting at Yang Jinyu. What do you want to do? Yang Jinyu thought that he had seen a lot of big shots, but when he met Hua Chenhuan's gaze, he could not help but feel scared. When he saw Su Yiyan's guarded gaze, he also realized that he had lost his composure. He laughed dryly and said, Sorry, I was too presumptuous. My name is Yang Jinyu, and I'm Chirui's good friend. I was worried when I found out that Chirui was sick. After knowing that Miss Su had a way to cure him, I was a little excited. Please forgive me for offending Miss Su. I really don't mean any harm. As Yang Jinyu spoke, he automatically took a few steps back to show that he was harmless. Ning Xiyuan saw that the atmosphere was a little awkward, so he quickly stepped forward to smooth things over. Jinyu and us brothers grew up together. When Chirui was sick, he was also concerned and insisted on staying to see you. We were too presumptuous. If Miss Su minds, we won't let him come next time. Since Ning Xiyuan had said so, Su Yiyan did not pursue the matter. After all, she did not explicitly ask the brothers not to spread news about her. It's okay, but next time, I hope that President Ning will let me know in advance so that I can be mentally prepared. Of course. Just as Su Yiyan expected, after she left yesterday, Ning Xiyuan asked the doctor in the hospital to do a full body checkup on Ning Qirui. He did it again after eating the medicinal cuisine she sent over. Although the effect was a little subtle at first, after taking a few medicinal meals, Ning Qirui's illness did improve a little in terms of overall data. In Ning Siyuan's opinion, this was still far from enough. However, to the doctors in the hospital, it was already considered a miracle to be able to achieve such results in such a short period of time. Although Ning Siyuan didn't know much about medicine, he could tell from the doctor's reactions that Su Yiyan was truly capable and wasn't trying to be mysterious. His attitude towards Su Yiyan was much warmer than before. Seeing that Su Yiyan's expression was slightly better because of his words, Ning Siyuan breathed a sigh of relief. He took the initiative to change the topic. "Miss Su, this is my fiancé, Hu Chenhuan." As soon as she said this, Ning Siyuan and Yang Jinyu looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. They had heard of Hu Chenhuan's name before, but they did not expect to meet him here. Moreover, seeing how this person was subconsciously protecting Su Yiyan just now, the groundless rumors outside would probably be false. Chapter 172. No one disliked being praised for having a good relationship with the person they liked, and Su Yiyan was no exception. She smiled faintly and glanced at Hu Chenhuan with a smug look that said, "You don't have to tell me that." The coldness in Hu Chenhuan's eyes dissipated when he saw her like this, but he ignored Ning Siyuan and simply said, "Let's get down to business." The sooner they finished, the sooner they could leave. He really did not like the way these men looked at his wife. Su Yiyan saw his impatience and wanted to get it done quickly. She patted Hu Chenhuan's shoulder to comfort him and walked to Ning Qirui's bedside. "Have you eaten all the food that was delivered these 2 days?" After Ning Qirui saw Wen Jingping's true colors, he also understood that he had been used as a tool and wrongly blamed Su Yiyan. Now that he saw Su Yiyan, he felt uncomfortable and hesitated for a long time. In the end, it was Ning Siyuan who answered for him. "Yes, I asked someone to watch him eat. He ate all of it, not leaving anything behind." "Oh." Su Yiyan saw Ning Qirui's embarrassment and thought of the system's announcement yesterday. She turned her eyes slightly and joked, "Is it delicious?" Ning Qirui's expression became more and more uncomfortable, but Yang Jinyu suddenly jumped out at this time and said, "It's delicious. When it was delivered, I happened to be next to it. That smell. TSK, it really makes people salivate. Especially that fish." Whenever Yang Jinyu thought of that smell, he could not help but show an intoxicated expression on his face. When he interrupted, Ning Qirui was unhappy. "You haven't eaten it. How do you know it's delicious? You still have the nerve to say that. Brother, I usually think of you first when I have something good. You're not even willing to give me a mouthful of fish, or even a mouthful of soup. What's the use of having a brother like you? Don't forget, I'm a patient now. Those dishes were originally made for me. You snatch food from a patient, and still have the nerve to tell others. Do you have any shame? Shame on you." "You." Su Yiyan was speechless. Did he overturn the boat of friendship just because of a mouthful of food? What kind of fake brotherhood was this? After Ning Qirui finished rebuking Yang Jinyu, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. He looked around in confusion and instantly met Hu Chenhuan's cold gaze. Ning Qirui was speechless. Damn, what was wrong with this person? He looked like he wanted to eat someone. Just as she was panicking, she heard Su Yiyan ask a question even though she already knew the answer. "So, you don't think those dishes taste good?" Ning Qirui was slightly startled. He finally blushed and said reluctantly, "It's delicious. Since you're willing to cooperate, let's proceed with the next treatment. As usual, leave only a few people in the ward. Don't let anyone disturb you. Don't worry, during this period of time, only our people will be on this floor. No one will disturb you." "That's good." Although Yang Jinyu had been reminded before not to make a fuss no matter what he saw, he could not help but gasp when he saw Su Yiyan take out a large row of needles and intend to stick the needles into Ning Qirui's body. Just like the day before, Su Yiyan's acupuncture points were mostly on the back. The difference was that this time, she inserted a few more places than before. Moreover, she had not prepared the moxibustion the day before, so the effect would be better. Yang Jinyu watched as Ning Qirui was pricked by needles and scalded by the finger-like fragrance. He suddenly felt that the world was a bit mysterious. Chapter 173. Compared to Yang Jinyu, who was doubting his life, Ning Chirue did not feel good either. Su Yiyan touched his body with the familiar scent, but it did not hurt much. Just like what Yang Jinyu thought, he also felt that his whole body was fragrant. He could eat it after adding some salt and other seasonings. Thinking of the delicious food Su Yiyan sent over not long ago, Ning Chirue wondered if he was the meat on the chopping board in Su Yiyan's eyes. Of course, this was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that the burning thing on his body was actually quite hot. But every time Su Yiyan's hand touched his back, he could not help but shudder inexplicably. Was this also a sign that the treatment was working? Siyuan, can this really cure the disease? I think Chirue is going to be pricked like a hedgehog. Ning Siyuan looked at the inexplicably scary needles on his brother's back and raised his eyebrows. It does look scarier than yesterday. That's what I said. But the data can't fool people. Since you want to cure the disease, you have to suffer a little. Getting well is the most important thing. Yang Jinyu was speechless. He was indeed his brother. He could not refute him. After Ning Siyuan finished speaking, he did not look at Su Yiyan and Su Yiyan. Instead, he turned to look at Hua Chenhuan, who was not far away. He had long heard that this family Hua was indifferent and scary. Because of her health, she did not see outsiders all year round. Now that he had met her, the rumors were true. It was just that when facing Su Yiyan, she would always carefully hide her scary hostility, as if she was afraid of hurting her. This conclusion made Ning Siyuan a little surprised, but it was surprisingly compatible with the two people in front of him. It seemed that the rumors outside were somewhat credible, but some were not. These two people were said to be forced into a marriage, but in fact, they were already in love with each other. If word got out, who knew how many people would be shocked? While countless thoughts flashed through Ning Siyuan's mind, Su Yiyan had finally inserted all the needles into the corresponding acupoints. After that, she still needed to leave the needles for another 20 to 30 minutes, and gently twist the needles occasionally. When Yang Jinyu saw that Su Yiyan had stopped, he thought that she was done. He sneaked up to Ning Chirue and asked in a low voice, "Brother, are you okay?" Ning Chirue looked up at him and said weakly, "I think I can still be saved." Pfft. Su Yiyan almost laughed out loud. "Alright, don't make it sound like I'm abusing you. You're so comfortable that you're about to fall asleep. Do you want me to rescue you in your dream?" Ning Chirue's face turned red. He recalled how he had inexplicably fallen asleep the last time. Now that he thought about it, he still felt inexplicably embarrassed. She must have done something when she stabbed herself. She must have. Half an hour later, Su Yiyan pulled out all the needles that had been inserted into his body. His forehead was covered in a layer of sweat. Just as she exhaled, a hand reached over and wiped the sweat on her forehead. "Are you tired?" "I'm okay." Su Yiyan enjoyed Hua Chenhuan's thoughtfulness with a clear conscience. Her eyes were sparkling as she said, "I've made you wait for so long. You must be bored, right?" Hua Chenhuan shook her head. "I'm not bored. I'm happy just watching you do nothing." Su Yiyan was taken aback, and then she smiled foolishly. Yang Jinyu and Ning Siyuan, who were caught off guard and fed a mouthful of dog food, were speechless. Chapter 174. Su Yiyan was happy that Hua Chenhuan dared to say sweet nothings to her in front of so many people. But she also desperately wanted to spend time with Hua Chenhuan alone. Therefore, after Hua Chenhuan helped her wipe her sweat, Su Yiyan immediately turned to look at Ning Siyuan and said, "Today's treatment will end here. I'll come back in a week. Remember to send someone to collect the remaining medicinal cuisine from my house on time. I've already stewed it before I came out tonight. You can send someone to collect it when it's time. My housekeeper will bring it to you." Ning Siyuan understood why the housekeeper was the one to collect it, and not Su Yiyan herself. He glanced at the two of them and smiled faintly. "Okay, I'll send someone over on time. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave first." "Okay, I'll send you out." "No need, we can go out on our own. You stay here and take care of your brother." Ning Siyuan still wanted to say something, but Yang Jinyu had already interrupted. "I'm going back too. Siyuan, you stay here and accompany Chirue. I'll send them out." Okay then. As soon as the three of them left, Ning Chirui could not help but ask his eldest brother, Brother, do you think Su Yiyen can really cure my illness? It's an undeniable fact that your physical condition is getting better. Even if she can't completely cure you, it's good to stabilize your condition and prevent it from getting worse. That's true. Ning Chirui nodded, but he was not optimistic. But brother, don't get your hopes up. If she can really cure my illness, why doesn't she treat her fiancé's leg? Maybe she wants to treat it, but she hasn't cured it yet. Don't you need to treat your illness for a while to know if it can be cured? Brother, what you said makes sense. I just hope that she can really do it. Ning Chirui pondered and frowned. I didn't expect her fiancé to be. Brother, do you think the two of them really have feelings for each other? Didn't you just see it? Ning Chirui thought of how much public display of affection he had just witnessed. He choked and muttered indignantly. What we see may not be true. Maybe it's just an act for us. Ning Siyuan was amused by his words. Who do you think you are that she has to put on an act for you? Do you know who was in the wheelchair just now? Hua Xiaofeng's uncle. That's because you're inexperienced and don't understand. The outside world had never associated him with Hua Xiaofeng's family. It was too degrading. Even I, strictly speaking, have to call him Uncle Hua, or even Master Hua. Is he that powerful? Ning Chirui was taken aback. In the upper-class society, the titles uncle and grandpa referred not only to seniority but also to status and ability. Ning Siyuan sighed helplessly as he looked at his younger brother, who always appeared especially naive and sweet at times like this. I see that your attitude towards that Miss Su isn't as repulsive as before. If that's the case, be nicer to her in the future. First of all, she's treating your illness now. Whether it's you or our family, we all owe her a favor. Second of all, you saw it just now. That gentleman dotes on Miss Su like she's his treasure. If you're still so insensible, I can't protect you. Chapter 175. Su Yiyen pushed Hua Chenhuan out, and Yang Jinyu followed behind like a little tail. Along the way, he didn't find a chance to talk to Su Yiyen. Seeing that the two were about to leave the hospital, Yang Jinyu finally couldn't help but step forward and say, Miss Su. Su Yiyen paused and turned to look at him in confusion. Mr. Yang, is there anything else? Yang Jinyu felt a chill at the back of his head when Hua Chenhuan suddenly glanced at him coldly. But when he thought of his own situation, he braced himself and went to Su Yiyen's side and whispered, Miss Su, are you the streamer of Yanyan's Little Yanyan Kitchen? You are. Su Yiyen's eyes narrowed slightly, and she subconsciously glanced at Hua Chenhuan. After seeing that she didn't seem to hear Yang Jinyu's words, she frowned and said, What Yanyan's Little Kitchen? I've never heard of it. Su Yiyen's reaction was within Yang Jinyu's expectations. He hurriedly explained, Miss Su, don't be nervous. I'm a loyal viewer of your live broadcast room, and I was lucky enough to be selected by you before. You are? Su Yiyen's words were tantamount to admitting that she was the streamer in disguise. Ahem. Yang Jinyu touched his nose, and seemed to be a little embarrassed to admit his ID. I'm that golden gun will not fall. Su Yiyen suddenly realized that she still had an impression of this ID. After all, he was a frequent guest of her live broadcast room who often gave her a large reward, and she couldn't forget his name even if she wanted to. This could also explain why he was so excited when he saw her in the ward. Seeing that Su Yiyen seemed to remember him, Yang Jinyu's eyes lit up. He said awkwardly and flatteringly, Well, Miss Su, can I have a word with you? Su Yiyen raised his eyebrows. He could understand the man's previous problem. He lowered his head and reported to Hua Chenhuan. This is one of my former patients. I'm going to talk to him for a while. I'll be back soon. Wait for me here. After saying that, he kissed his hand and then pressed it on Hua Chenhuan's face. Yang Jinyu. What kind of operation was this? Hua Chenhuan's originally gloomy face was also dazed by her kiss. Su Yiyen, on the other hand, revealed a mischievous smile and said cheerfully, Before we came out, my parents specifically told me that we're not allowed to kiss. Yang Jinyu. So you used this method with your fiancé? Ahem, no wonder you're a streamer. You really know how to play. Hua Chenhuan was teased by her, and the coldness on his face dissipated a lot. He reluctantly said, "Go early and come back early. Just a few words. I'll be back soon." After saying that, he winked at Yang Jinyu. Yang Jinyu understood and hurriedly led Su Yiyan to a long corridor not far away. This way, Hua Chenhuan could see them and not let him hear their conversation. "Tell me, how did you recognize me? Why are you looking for me?" "It was purely an accident that I recognized you. Yesterday, I went to the hospital to visit Chirue, and his agent happened to come over to deliver dinner to him." Su Yiyan understood instantly. This person was a viewer of her live broadcast room. During her live broadcast yesterday, he also gave her a few rewards. Naturally, he knew what she had cooked yesterday afternoon. These dishes appeared at Ning Chirue's place shortly after that, so it was not surprising that he would be suspicious. Chapter 176. Treat you too. Su Yiyan looked surprised. She subconsciously took 2 steps back and looked Yang Jinyu up and down. She found that he did have some physical problems, but they were not too serious. Didn't the soup last time work? Su Yiyan agreed to come over and talk to Yang Jinyu alone, because she wanted to know the effect of her previous tonic soup. After all, Hua Chenhuan's problem was not just her legs. It worked. Yang Jinyu hurriedly responded, and then said a little embarrassedly, "I drank the soup at that time, and it worked on the same day. But a few days later, it was..." Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. She had a rough understanding. "In other words, you did have some effect after drinking my soup, but a few days later, you relapsed." "Yeah. Then, what have you been doing these past few days?" Yang Jinyu's expression was slightly stiff. When he mentioned these things to Ning Chirue before, he was still confident and proud. But when it came to Su Yiyan, he only felt indescribably embarrassed. Just like before, with my girlfriend. You know." Su Yiyan blinked and laughed out loud. "No, I'm very pure. I don't know anything. Yang Jinyu." Before saying this, "Could you please take back the dog food you fed me before?" Fortunately, after teasing him, Su Yiyan did not make things too difficult for Yang Jinyu. She went back to the topic and said, "So after the soup worked, you couldn't wait to do it with your girlfriend again?" "Yeah." Su Yiyan sighed and said earnestly, "Young people, you can't fool around just because you are young. If something really goes wrong, it will be too late to regret it." Yang Jinyu wanted to cry. He was a man in his late 30s, and he was being lectured by a girl who was a few years younger than him. He felt a little embarrassed, but he had to agree. Yes, you are right. I have a rough idea of what your illness is." Su Yiyan glanced at him and gave him a heads up. "But after this experience, you should have realized that although my medicinal cuisine can help you recover, if you don't take care of yourself for a period of time, your body will still be emptied out sooner or later. Then what should we do? I can help you treat it, but you have to know your limits. Appropriately. Control yourself. Otherwise, even if I can cure your illness, I won't be able to cure your own death." Although Su Yiyan's words were not very polite, his words were crude but reasonable. Yang Jinyu blushed and hurriedly said, "As long as Miss Su can help treat it, I promise to keep myself clean from now on and abstain from sex." Being able to use it and not being able to use it were 2 completely different concepts. When it came to a man's dignity, Yang Jinyu decisively chose the former. "Well, I don't plan to go home for the time being. You can do a full body checkup yourself, and then send me the medical report by private message. I will look at it when I go back." Yang Jinyu's physical condition was not complicated. Years of unrestrained sexual activity had made his body weak and weary. Simply put, his body was hollowed out. Chapter 177. Yang Jinyu was greatly relieved when he saw that Su Yiyan had agreed. It was a piece of cake for him to send a medical report. The hospital that Ning Chirue worked in was owned by his uncle's family. Not to mention other things, confidentiality was guaranteed to a certain extent. Okay. I'll do a detailed full-body examination and send it to you later." That's it then. Contact me if you need anything. After Su Yiyan confirmed that the medicinal cuisine she made was indeed effective, she was not in the mood to chat with Yang Jinyu anymore. She ran back to Hua Chenhuan happily and continued to push him out. Are you very happy? Yes. Su Yiyan did not hide her joy. Her eyes turned slightly and she said slyly, You saw it just now, right? Hua Chenhuan thought that she was talking about the scene where the two of them stood in the corridor and talked. His eyes darkened slightly, and he said coldly, I saw it. Su Yiyan had always been sensitive to Hua Chenhuan's emotional changes. She stopped immediately and walked around to Hua Chenhuan. She leaned over and looked at him in the eye. Are you angry? Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's face, which was close to him. The rebuttal that was on the tip of his tongue turned into a jealous complaint. You smiled so happily at him. Su Yiyan laughed. I wasn't smiling at him. I was happy that his condition has improved. Hua Chenhuan's face was still ugly, and he looked away to avoid eye contact. Su Yiyan had no choice but to blush and say truthfully, His illness is similar to yours. Hua Chenhuan's expression changed slightly. He suddenly understood something, and his face was a little ugly. Don't be angry. What I meant was that you saw how I treated Ning Qirui, right? Hua Chenhuan was stunned, and a little embarrassment flashed across his face. You also saw that I can treat people, and the method I use is different from the usual treatment. So, are you willing to believe me? One day, I will cure you, whether it's your leg or... Su Yiyan seemed to be afraid that Hua Chenhuan would be hurt and sad, so she hurriedly explained, Of course I don't care about how you look now. I just hope that you can get better than now. Before Su Yiyan could finish, she was interrupted by Hua Chenhuan. I know. That's good. Su Yiyan breathed a sigh of relief. The reason why I talked to him alone just now was because it was related to a man's dignity. Of course, I was also curious about the effects of the food I gave him before. The reason why I laughed was because he told me that those things were effective. At that time, you were thinking about me. Yes. Su Yiyan blushed slightly and said embarrassedly, I was thinking about the same illness. It was effective for him, so it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't work for you. When Hua Chenhuan heard this, she no longer remembered the sour feeling she had when she saw Su Yiyan smiling so happily at a strange man. She reached out and touched Su Yiyan's face, smiled, and said, Thank you. Su Yiyan took the opportunity to hold Hua Chenhuan's hand and smiled slightly. Why are you thanking me? If you want to thank me, wait until I cure you in the future. Okay. Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyan's shining eyes, and her mood was affected. Don't worry, you can take your time. Even if you can't cure me, it doesn't matter. Chapter 178. Su Yiyan was a little unhappy when she heard what he said. What are you talking about? I can definitely cure you. When I'm ready in all aspects and gradually become proficient in acupuncture, I'll treat you. One day, I'll let everyone see a brand new you. Ready in all aspects and gradually become proficient in acupuncture? Hua Chenhuan repeated Su Yiyan's words. Her eyes flashed and she probed. So the reason why you're treating them is to practice? Su Yiyan was stunned. Her little trick had been exposed unexpectedly. It was really difficult to resist. Ahem, you can't put it that way. Although I'm not very proficient, I'm treating them seriously. You can't completely say that I'm using them as practice. Hua Chenhuan was not so easily fooled by her. She joked. You mean that there's still a certain element of it, right? Yes, you're right. Su Yiyan glared at him angrily. She went back behind him with a blushing face. As she pushed the wheelchair forward, she muttered softly, It's good that you know. Why did you have to say it out loud? I'm so embarrassed. Hua Chenhuan could not help but smile when she heard that. She replied softly, Okay, I won't say it. Su Yiyan was speechless. She sounded like she was coaxing a child. Did she think that he was coaxing her like Dun Dun? Yu Zian waited downstairs for an hour or two, but he was not bored at all. First, he took the box of egg tarts and joked around with Gu Xiaoyang and Su Yiyan. Later, he could not resist the temptation and ate too. While eating, he even made a scoundrel. He recorded the whole process of eating into a short video and sent it to the group chat. Gu Xiaoyang and Su Yiyan almost crawled over the internet to beat him up. When he was full of hatred, Su Yiyan and Su Yiyan were about to go downstairs. Yu Zian saw the two of them coming out from afar. He quickly put away his phone and the box and took a careful look at himself in the mirror. After confirming that there were no traces of eating on his face, he turned to look out of the car window. At first glance, she felt that the atmosphere between the two of them was not right. Compared to before they were admitted to the hospital, they seemed to be even more lovey-dovey. It's getting late. Let's find a place to have dinner. Hua Chenhuan didn't say yes or no. After a moment of silence, she said, "Before that, can you accompany me somewhere?" Where is it?" "We'll know when we get there." Su Yiyan was a little surprised. This guy actually learned how to be mysterious. It seemed that he had learned a lot from his subordinates during this time. Hua Chenhuan didn't say anything, so she didn't ask. However, the place that Hua Chenhuan wanted to take her to seemed a little far. After driving for about half an hour, Su Yiyan couldn't help but yawn. She had been busy the whole day, making egg tarts and cakes at home. She was so busy that she didn't even take an afternoon nap. When she came out, she performed acupuncture for Ning Qirui for more than an hour. At this time, she was really sleepy and couldn't open her eyes. Hua Chenhuan immediately noticed Su Yiyan's strange behavior. He reached out to support her swaying head and let her lean on his shoulder. "Go to sleep. I'll wake you up when we get there." Su Yiyan was actually half asleep at this time. When she heard his words, she whispered, "No, I'm afraid that you'll sell me." After saying that, she fell into a deep sleep, vividly showing the inconsistency between her words and actions. Chapter 179. Su Yiyan woke up after a series of jolts. The sky was completely dark, and she could hear the sound of rolling water. Su Yiyan took a few seconds to figure out her situation. She looked at the sparkling water, not far away. Recalling what happened before she fell asleep, she couldn't help but make a bold guess. Someone couldn't have sold her out, right? "You're awake?" A familiar voice came from beside her. Su Yiyan was shocked. She realized that the person she was suspicious of was sitting on the other side. "What are you thinking about?" Hua Chenhuan moved in front of Su Yiyan, less than 10 centimeters in front of her, and said meaningfully, "You think I sold you out?" Su Yiyan laughed foolishly and changed the topic. "Where are we? I think there's water outside." "It's a small island in the suburbs." "Small island?" Fortunately, Su Yiyan wasn't drinking water, or she would have choked. "Why did you bring me here in the middle of the night? Are you plotting something against me?" "Yes." Hua Chenhuan admitted that he was plotting something against his future wife, Su Yiyan. "Do you have to be so honest? Should I cooperate or not?" "We'll talk about the rest later. Let's eat first." Hua Chenhuan pulled Su Yiyan out of the cabin. Su Yiyan realized that they were indeed at the edge of a small island. The water in the distance was dark and looked a little gloomy. Fortunately, the boat and the beach they were on were brightly lit. They could see the end of the boat at a glance, so it wasn't particularly scary. The two's dinner was personally delivered by the boat's chef. The taste wasn't bad, but it was still edible. It was quite romantic to enjoy a candlelight dinner with the person you love on a yacht. The premise was that they had to ignore the sea breeze that almost blew them into idiots. Hua Chenhuan seemed to have realized the drawbacks of this arrangement. As soon as they finished dinner, she suggested, "Do you want to go up and take a look at our manor?" "We? What's mine is yours. This island is ours. Naturally, the manor on it is also ours." Su Yiyan's eyes lit up. Sure enough, she was persuaded. "Okay, it just so happens that I haven't seen the manor on the island. I'll take you there." "Yes." The manor that Hua Chenhuan mentioned was actually quite a distance away from the coast, but the two of them had just finished eating, so they could use this opportunity to take a walk to digest their food. "This island looks pretty." Although it was nighttime, they could still see the large green plants planted on the island. The fine sand on the beach should have been filtered in advance. Under the reflection of the light, it shone like the starry sky. It was very comfortable to step on. There's no way there's no news about such a beautiful island. I've never heard of such a beautiful island before. Hua Chenhuan saw that she liked the island. The corners of her lips curled up. She explained, "This island is private. It has never been disclosed to the public before. Naturally, there's no news about it." Su Yiyan nodded, indicating that she understood. If she owned an island alone, she wouldn't want to disclose it either. She wouldn't want her private territory to become a place for other people's entertainment. It would cause her to be disturbed. Hua Chenhuan saw that she didn't speak. She suddenly turned her head and asked, "Aren't you going to ask me why I don't disclose it to the public?" "Why?" Chapter 180. Su Yiyan was slightly startled, and her face turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before this, she was the one who teased Hua Chenhuan most of the time. Why did it suddenly turn around today? She was afraid that this guy had not only learned how to flatter his subordinates, but also learned all kinds of flirting words. Su Yiyan was already unable to resist him when he didn't say flirtatious words. Now that he was saying flirtatious words, Su Yiyan couldn't stop the smoke from coming out of her head. She was excited and shy at the same time. Hua Chenhuan didn't seem to intend to let her go so easily. Seeing that she didn't speak, he asked again, "Why don't you ask me who I like?" Su Yiyan thought to herself, "Who else can you like besides me?" But if she really said this, it would be too narcissistic. Su Yiyan held back for a while, but in the end, she followed his words and asked, "Who do you like?" Hua Chenhuan suddenly turned his head and looked straight into her eyes. He smiled and said, "You." These two short words were more straightforward and sweet than any words of love in the world. Su Yiyan's face turned completely red. "Do you mean that this island is for me?" "Yes." Su Yiyan didn't argue and accepted it all. "Thank you. I want a reward." "What?" Hua Chenhuan didn't directly answer her question. He smiled and asked again, "Do you like this island?" "I like it. I gave you such a beautiful island that you like so much. Can't I ask for a reward?" Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows and was a little curious. "What reward do you want?" "Lower your head." Su Yiyan looked at him doubtfully, but still lowered her head and moved closer to him. Before she finished speaking, Hua Chenhuan had turned his head and kissed her on the cheek. Su Yiyan was startled. Just as she was about to denounce him, she met a certain someone's deep eyes that were mixed with a little bit of light. In his previous life, Hua Chenhuan's deep and sharp eyes were like a black hole in the universe, cold and dangerous. At this moment, Su Yiyan felt as if many bright stars had suddenly appeared in the universe, illuminating the original darkness and making him warm and soft. He was no longer like before, with spikes all over his body and repelling people thousands of miles away. Scared silly. "I didn't." Su Yiyan seemed to have woken up from a dream. She snorted coldly and said, "I just remembered that before I came out, my parents and brother repeatedly told me not to do anything more intimate than holding hands with you. If they find out what you're doing now, my father and brother will definitely not let you off easily." Hua Chenhuan was not frightened by Su Yiyan's words at all. She chuckled and said, "What about you?" "I what? I did this to you. What are you going to do to me?" "I'll let it go this time, but there won't be a next time. Otherwise, I'll throw you off the island to feed the sharks." Hua Chenhuan looked at her faintly and said with a faint smile, "Can you bear to do that?" Su Yiyan flew into a rage out of humiliation. "See if I can bear to do that." As the two bickered, they had slowly walked to the edge of the manor. Just by looking in from the outside, one could see that this was a private manor that occupied a large area. The main building could not be seen under the curtain of the night, but at least as far as the eye could see, there was no end in sight. Chapter 181. Do you like it? Su Yiyan froze for a moment, thinking that he was asking if she liked the manor. "I like it. This manor is very beautiful." Hua Chenhuan did not comment and asked again, "Do you like the flowers here?" Su Yiyan blinked. Only then did she understand that Hua Chenhuan had just asked about the flowers in the courtyard. I like it. But, how do you know that I like blue roses? Hua Chenhuan did not give a direct answer. Instead, he gave an ambiguous answer. If you want to know, you can find out. As long as you have the heart and are willing to understand, there is nothing in this world that can be hidden. If a person does not know what kind of person he likes, what kind of habits she has, what kind of preferences she has, then it can only mean that he is not attentive enough to you, and does not love you enough. The corners of Su Yian's lips curled up slightly as she pushed Hua Chenhuan into the manor. Perhaps knowing that someone would come tonight, the manor's gate was wide open, welcoming them in. Su Yiyan looked around, but did not see anyone for a long time. As if seeing her doubts, Hua Chenhuan kindly reminded her. Tonight, there is no one else here except for me and you. Just the two of us? Yes, you don't like to be alone with me? No, just the two of us, this is good. Su Yiyan pushed Hua Chenhuan to the front of the flowers, and asked with a smile. You know that I like blue roses, then do you know why I like blue roses? Why? Blue is the color of the sky and the sea, clean and beautiful. And the flower language of blue roses just happens to be miracles and impossible things. I like miracles, they can always bring me different surprises, just like you. She thought that she would miss you, but unexpectedly returned to the past. In her previous life, this was something impossible to achieve, a miracle that she had never expected. To me you are a miracle. Hua Chenhuan's expression slightly moved, and reached out to hold Su Yiyan's hand. You are also my miracle. Su Yiyan pursed her lips, and just as she was about to say something, she suddenly heard a burst of fireworks outside the manor. Someone is setting off fireworks? Su Yiyan's attention was instantly attracted. Colorful fireworks flew up from both sides of the manor, sometimes like a waterfall pouring down, sometimes like snowflakes dancing in the sky. Su Yiyan at first thought that the fireworks were just deliberately set by the people near the manor, until the fireworks exploded in the sky, one after another. Did you prepare these fireworks? Su Yiyan's voice just fell. Suddenly, a familiar figure flew out of the manor's gate. It was a fat dog wearing a pink lace dress with a large pink bow on its head. As it ran, the flesh all over its body was trembling. The blue rose in its mouth was also being blown by the wind, and was being ravaged. Dun dun. Su Yiyan was about to squat down to greet her little dog, but saw it suddenly turn around and run to her side. Hua Chenhuan carefully took the rose in Dundan's mouth, and patted its little head as a reward. Then she leaned over to look at Su Yiyan and smiled. Yin Yan. Yes. Su Yiyan's heart suddenly jumped, and she inexplicably felt a little nervous. Chapter 182. Su Yiyan's mind went blank for a moment. She stared blankly at the blue rose in front of her. After a while, she finally found her voice. You want me to agree with just a blue rose? That's too perfunctory, isn't it? As soon as the words came out of her mouth, she regretted it. It wasn't just a blue rose, but a courtyard full of roses, a manor, and an island. But even if it was just a rose, she was still willing. What was there to be stubborn about? Then what if I add this? Hua Chenhuan took out a small box that he had prepared earlier, and handed it to Su Yiyan. When Su Yiyan saw the thing inside, her face changed. Inside the delicate little box was a beautiful platinum diamond ring. This diamond ring was in the shape of a rotating belt. Finally, one on the left and one on the right, encircled the uppermost diamond. In addition, if one looked carefully, they would find that the belt of the ring had an incomparably delicate engraving in the shape of an olive branch. At a glance, it looked like two olive branches encircling the diamond. It was a little strange but very beautiful. However, what really surprised Su Yiyan wasn't the design of the diamond ring, but that she had seen this diamond ring in her previous life. During the days when she was by Hua Chenhuan's side as a soul, she had seen several times when Hua Chenhuan was alone at night, staring at this diamond ring thoughtfully. Could it be that in his previous life, he had also fantasized about being together with her? Also, he liked her so much. How could he not have thought about it? But since he had thought about it, why didn't he put it into action? Su Yiyan's heart flashed with countless guesses, but Hua Chenhuan didn't know anything about it. Seeing that she was silent, the little heart that had long been accustomed to storms and waves actually became nervous. Yin Yin. Su Yiyan suddenly woke up. Only then did she remember that she was at the scene of a marriage proposal. Someone was holding this familiar ring and proposing to her. Since you're so sincere, I'll reluctantly agree to your request. Although she said that, Su Yiyan's eyes were brimming with joy, making it obvious that she was in a good mood at the moment. Hua Chenhuan's heart calmed down, but she didn't expose her. She picked up the ring and put it on her finger carefully. After putting it on, Su Yiyan stared at the ring and turned it over several times. It was neither too tight nor too loose. It wouldn't hurt, and it wouldn't slip out easily. How did you know the size of my finger? Yes, said Wang Yao. Measured? How did you measure it? Hua Chenhuan reached out and took the initiative to hold her hand. Then he opened his hand and intertwined his fingers with hers. This is the amount. Su Yiyan. Like hell I'll believe you. How can you measure it like this? However, she also knew that there wasn't much point in dwelling on this. Soon, she changed the topic that she was more curious about. The pattern of this ring is a bit special. Does it have any special meaning? Hua Chenhuan held her hand and stroked the texture of the ring. At that time, I asked for eternity, and he gave me a design in return. The body of the ring is a miniature version of the Mobius ring, which symbolizes eternity. The olive branch on the top seems to symbolize peace, but in fact it represents the endless growth of plants, forever and ever. Su Yiyan's eyes became slightly hot when she heard these words. Endless growth, forever and ever. What a moving 8 words. Chapter 183. Who's this guy you're talking about? His name is Hermes. He's a friend of mine and a famous jewelry designer. Su Yiyan was stunned when he heard the name. The internationally famous jewelry designer, Hermes James? Yes. You're friends with him? The internationally renowned jewelry tycoon was in his 40s or 50s. He was a completely different age group from Hua Chenhuan. Most importantly, in 2 years this tycoon, who once controlled the lifeline of the jewelry world, would pass away due to illness. Not long after his death, because he did not leave behind any descendants, the younger generation of the family's collateral branch fought over the inheritance he left behind. A terrible gunfight even broke out. In the end, most of the people died, and the rest ended up in prison. The jewelry tycoon collapsed and disappeared in the long river of history. It became a topic of conversation for many people. Su Yiyan had an impression of this name, because he had seen the relevant news report at the time. He had lamented the impermanence of the world. He did not expect these two to be friends. Then in 2 years, were friends despite the difference in age. Hua Chenhuan did not hide it. I met him by chance on a trip. We became friends because we hit it off. We've known each other for almost 10 years. Su Yiyan was shocked. So long? Yes. I mentioned this idea to him before, but I didn't let him put it into practice. I didn't expect him to have an idea in private long ago. He rushed to produce the finished product before I urged him. This was the main reason why the diamond ring could appear in front of them so quickly. When Hua Chenhuan asked Zui Yanbai to contact Hermes, he was a little worried that there would not be enough time for him to finalize the draft and produce the finished product. He did not expect that the finished product would be delivered a few days after he mentioned it to him. There was also a letter that told him that the wedding ring was in the process of being produced. It would definitely be completed before their wedding, and there was no need to worry. Although Hua Chenhuan did not mention Hermes much, Su Yiyan could feel a sense of closeness. It was obvious that the two of them had a good relationship. After all, there were very few people in this world who could be considered friends by Hua Chenhuan. Why did you suddenly think of proposing? We're about to get married. That day, I promised your father that as long as it's someone else's, I won't take anything less. So you thought of proposing? The proposal is very important. I don't want to have any regrets. This regret was not only for Su Yiyan, but also for himself. Su Yiyan looked at the diamond ring on her finger. She had to admit that Hua Chenhuan was right. Even though she knew that they would get married soon, She still couldn't help but feel a little happy when such a surprise suddenly appeared. This was a little romance that he had planned completely on his own initiative. It was worth treasuring for her for the rest of her life, and slowly savoring it in the future. The fireworks outside the courtyard were still going off. They had already transitioned from the previous roses to various characters and languages of yin yin, I love you. It was really simple and crude, but she liked it. After the two of them watched the fireworks, they walked around the manor twice. Su Yiyen realized that not only were the flowers that she liked planted in the manor, but the decoration and the overall layout were also the type that she liked. Chapter 184. Oh no! Su Yiyen's face changed greatly. Why is it so late? Hua Chenhuan reminded her at the right time. It was already past 8 when you woke up. Wouldn't it be 12 o'clock after eating and taking a stroll? Su Yiyen wanted to cry but had no tears. No, I have to go home. My parents will go crazy if they don't see me back so late. It's not safe to go out to sea so late. Su Yiyen suddenly froze. Indeed, it was very dangerous to go out to sea in the dark. Then I'll call my parents and inform them. Where's my cell phone? Su Yiyen rummaged through her clothes for a long time, and finally found her cell phone in her jacket pocket. She opened it. No. Yes. No. Why is there no signal here? Hua Chenhuan's face didn't change. The terrain is remote, and we haven't had time to install a signal receiver. Assistant Zhua, who had installed a shielding device early in the morning and blocked all the signals on the island, was very famous. Then what should we do? It's okay. Hua Chenhuan held Su Yiyen's hand and comforted her. Before we came, I asked Xiaoyang to report your whereabouts to your parents. Your parents should know that you're here now, and that you're going to stay here tonight. They won't worry. Su Yiyen wasn't comforted at all. Instead, she looked at Hua Chenhuan sadly. No, you asked Xiaoyang to tell them. They may be more worried now. Hua Chenhuan laughed. What are they worried about? That I'll eat you? Su Yiyen curled her lips. That's not impossible. You've already proposed. You should ask for some reward, right? That's because they don't know my physical condition. Su Yiyen was slightly stunned. Just when she was about to comfort him, she heard him say, but it's not impossible to ask for other rewards. It's my negligence. Thank you for reminding me. Su Yiyen. Did she dig a hole and bury herself in it? Hua Chenhuan looked at Su Yiyen's slightly sluggish expression, and knew that she couldn't tease her too much. She comforted her. It's just one night. It's okay. It's late. Let's go upstairs and check out the rooms. I'll send you back tomorrow morning. Su Yiyen sighed and compromised. That's the only way. The two of them and the dog went upstairs. At first, Su Yiyen was a little worried that Hua Chenhuan would ask to sleep in the same room as her. However, Hua Chenhuan took her directly to the master bedroom, and took Dun Dun to the guest room. Su Yiyen breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, she was inexplicably a little disappointed. After a day of torment, Su Yiyen thought that she would fall asleep as soon as she touched the bed. She didn't know if it was because she had slept before or because too many unexpected things had happened that night. She lay on the bed for more than an hour, but she didn't feel sleepy at all. The weather on the island changed quickly. They were still watching the stars on the beach in the first half of the night. In the second half of the night, there was a sudden gust of wind, lightning, thunder and rain. Su Yiyen couldn't sleep anymore. She looked at the threatening curtains by the window. After hesitating for a moment, she got up and closed the window. But it couldn't block out the sound of the wind, lightning and rain outside the window. Just then, there was a sudden knock on the door of her room. Su Yiyen froze slightly. Hua Chenhuan had said that there were only the two of them in the manor tonight. Was it Hua Chenhuan who was knocking on the door, or Su Yiyen took a deep breath and walked over slowly? Chapter 185. Su Yiyen was shocked. She took a closer look and realized that it was Dun Dun. When she looked up again, she saw Hua Chenhuan's familiar figure. Unlike before he left, Hua Chenhuan was wearing light blue cotton pajamas, which made him look more casual and approachable. She looked prettier. Hua Chenhuan saw that she was staring at her, and took the initiative to break the silence. It's raining. Su Yiyan instantly sobered up. She smiled awkwardly and said, Yes, yes. There's thunder. Yes. Dundun seems to be a little afraid of thunder. He keeps coming over. Dundun is afraid of thunder. Su Yiyan blinked doubtfully, and looked down at the little guy at her feet. Dundun. If he's afraid, then so be it. I'm used to being the scapegoat. Woof. Dundun barked sadly. Then it threw itself on Su Yiyan's cotton slippers and shivered. If Gu Xiaoyang and the others were here, they would definitely sigh and say, This dog has become a demon. Su Yiyan felt sorry for Dundun. She bent over and picked up the little guy. Then let him sleep in my room. After Su Yiyan finished speaking, she found that Hua Chenhuan was still at the door. She asked doubtfully, Is there anything else? I'm afraid of thunder too. Su Yiyan. What are you afraid of? During the time when I was with you, I encountered many thunderstorms, but I didn't see you being afraid. How old are you? Are you still afraid of thunder? It has nothing to do with age. Su Yiyan's mouth twitched. She thought, It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with how thick-skinned you are. At this time, Hua Chenhuan was obviously going to be thick-skinned to the end. There's no one else in this house except you and me. She was implying that she was afraid of thunder, so she could only rely on her. Then, let Dundun accompany you? Dundun, who had been acting for a long time and was about to be stuffed back in again. It's scared and I'm scared. If we stick together, we'll be even more scared. Are you still playing 1 + 1 = 2 at this time? Su Yiyan couldn't help but want to roll her eyes. She suddenly wanted to tell the person in front of her that she was actually afraid of thunder. However, in the current situation, it was clearly not feasible. Then what do you suggest we do? Hua Chenhuan's eyes flashed with a trace of a triumphant smile. You already let Dundun stay in your room. You shouldn't mind having one more person, right? Su Yiyan. Who said I don't mind? Dundun is Dundun, you are you. How is it the same? That's not good, is it? I don't sleep well. As soon as he said this, Hua Chenhuan couldn't help but laugh. What are you thinking? I just want to borrow the floorboards in your room, to sleep on the floor. Su Yiyan was stunned, and her face uncontrollably turned red. Oh my God. What did she just say? Cough. I'm not thinking of anything. You have a good room to sleep in, but you want to sleep on the floor in my room? In this kind of weather, aren't you afraid of freezing to death? There's a heating system in the house. Su Yiyan choked. But there's no spare quilt. The spare quilt is in the bottom right corner of the wardrobe. There's a cover and a cushion. Su Yiyan. You're so well prepared. I suspect that you've been planning this for a long time, and it was premeditated. Even if you have all these things, it's still... Before Su Yiyan could finish, Hua Chenhuan interrupted her. What are you afraid of? What? Chapter 186. Su Yiyan felt inexplicably guilty under his gaze. She subconsciously took a step back and said sternly, No, no. Since you didn't take me in, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Su Yiyan opened her mouth and was about to say something when she heard Hua Chenhuan say, You said before that I should ask for a reward for my successful proposal. The reward I want is to sleep on the floor in your room. This request isn't too much, right? Su Yiyan. I have nothing to say. In the end, Su Yiyan was persuaded by him. Well then. But I have to say in advance that sleeping in the same room is just sleeping in the same room. Don't do anything unnecessary. Although we are about to get married, there are some things that can only be done after marriage. These things were not just that kind of thing. Although Su Yiyan usually kissed and hugged Hua Chenhuan, she was actually quite conservative. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been unable to resist every time she was flirted with. A smile flashed across Hua Chenhuan's eyes. She responded obediently, Okay. Su Yiyan turned around and put the Dundun aside first. Then, she helped Hua Chenhuan find a spare quilt. After quickly laying it down, She hurriedly turned on the circulating heating system. In just a few minutes, the room was much warmer. It's all done. Go to sleep. Su Yiyan had just helped Hu Chenhuan lie down when she immediately went back to her bed. She covered her head with the quilt and didn't move. A few minutes later, Su Yiyan secretly poked her little head out and asked in a low voice, "Are you still awake?" She thought that she wouldn't get a reply. Unexpectedly, in the next second, she heard a low voice from below. Yes. Su Yiyan was startled. She quickly shrank back into the quilt and shouted as if her butt was on fire. Sleep early. Good night. Perhaps it was because she felt more at ease with someone by her side, or perhaps it was because she was a little tired after the commotion caused by Hu Chenhuan. At first, Su Yiyan didn't know how to deal with this awkward situation, so she hid. But as she hid, she fell asleep in a daze. Because of this, she missed a certain someone's gaze that was still shockingly bright in the dark night, filled with gentleness and love, and that gentle and heart-stirring good night, at the end. Outside the window, the rain was still falling. Even the howling wind and roaring thunder were not enough to disturb the tranquility of the room. Dundun was curled up in its kennel in the corner of the room. It looked around. Even though the two of them were not doing anything, it still felt like a lot of dog food was being thrown at its face. To have two masters like these, it was really too difficult. Su Yiyan slept very soundly. Even the storm outside did not disturb her in the slightest. In the end, she was woken up by the noise outside the door. "Young Master Su, please calm down." "Calm down. My biological sister has been kidnapped. How do you expect me to calm down? Where's my sister? And where's Hu Chenhuan? Tell him to get out here." "Brother?" Su Yiyan heard this voice and instantly woke up. Her body reacted faster than her brain. She jumped off the bed and ran to open the door. At this time, Su Yuxuan and the others just happened to walk over to her side. Unexpectedly seeing the door open, they were all shocked. Su Yuxuan was the first to react. Just as he was about to show a surprised expression, he saw someone behind his sister. The expression on his face suddenly froze. Then it became gloomy, angry, and as dark as the bottom of a pot. Chapter 187. The earth-shattering roar almost collapsed the roof of the manor. It was conceivable that Su Yuxuan was on the verge of exploding. After being yelled at, Su Yiyan finally realized the seriousness of the matter. She turned her head stiffly and saw Hu Chenhuan, who had also just woken up. Su Yiyan immediately gasped and hurriedly explained, "Brother, don't misunderstand. Nothing happened between us." Unfortunately, Su Yuxuan was so angry that he lost his mind. He said without thinking, "Then why are you sleeping in the same room?" Because it rained heavily and thundered last night. I was afraid to be alone, so I asked him to come over and accompany me. Moreover, he slept on the floor while I slept on the bed. Nothing happened between us." As soon as Su Yiyan said that, everyone present was stunned, especially Hu Chenhuan. However, he quickly realized that Su Yiyan was defending him. The corners of his lips curled up unconsciously. "Why is Big Brother here? Don't call me that. Who's your brother?" Su Yuxuan was even angrier when he heard Hu Chenhuan call him that. He glared fiercely at Hu Chenhuan, stepped forward, grabbed his sister's hand, and dragged her out. "Brother, what are you doing?" Su Yiyan was unprepared. She staggered a few steps forward and almost fell. Hu Chenhuan's eyes darkened slightly. He gave Gu Xiaoyang and the others a look. They understood and quickly stepped forward to separate the two of them. "What else can I do? I'll take you out of here." As soon as Su Yuxuan finished speaking, he was held up by two people and forcibly separated from his sister. "What are you doing? Let go of me." "Brother." Su Yiyan was also a little surprised by their actions. Before she could do anything, her hand was suddenly held by the person beside her. The person placed her hand in the palm of his hand and carefully stroked and rubbed it. "You're hurting her." There was a hint of anger in Chen Shu's tone. Only then did Su Yiyan notice that her wrist had turned red from the tugging just now. Her skin was fair to begin with, so the redness was a little shocking. Upon seeing this, Su Yuxuan also realized that he had been impulsive just now. He looked regretful, not only because he had accidentally hurt his sister, but also because his impulsiveness had caused him to lose the initiative in front of Hua Chenhuan. Hua Chenhuan rubbed Su Yiyan's wrist for a while before finally dispersing the red marks on her wrist. Looking at how focused he was, those who didn't know would think that he was not holding a hand, but some unknown rare treasure. Su Yiyan's ears turned red. As soon as the other party loosened his grip, she quickly pulled her hand back. My brother didn't do it on purpose. Tell them to let him go. In fact, Su Yiyan didn't need to say anything. Gu Xiaoyang and the others didn't dare to hold the future brother-in-law of their young master for too long. They had already loosened their grip a long time ago. The reason why they still maintained their original position was that Su Yuxuan was completely stunned by the two people's behavior of abusing single people, as if there was no one else around. As soon as he came back to his senses, he broke free from their restraint. He snorted coldly and turned to leave. Upon seeing this, Su Yiyan hurriedly said, I should go back. I'll come to see you next time if I have the chance. Hua Chenhuan thought that according to his future brother-in-law's reaction, the next time would not come so easily. With this thought, Hua Chenhuan suddenly leaned over to Su Yiyan and kissed her on the cheek before she could react. Su Yiyan blinked in surprise and blankly. Touching the place where she was kissed, her first reaction was, Chapter 188. Su Yuxuan was angry, but he couldn't just leave his sister in the wolf's den. After walking for a while, he stopped and prepared to go back and fight with Hua Chenhuan and the guys around him. Fortunately, before he could take action, Su Yiyan followed him. Su Yuxuan was stunned for a moment, and his expression became better. They didn't stop you? Why would they stop me? Brother, nothing happened between me and him last night. Since nothing happened, why didn't you return last night? Su Yiyan choked and said with a guilty conscience. Because we stayed on this island for too long last night, and forgot the time. When we remembered, it was already very late. It's not safe to go out to sea late at night. Although she said that, Su Yuxuan still saw the loophole in her words at a glance. He coldly snorted. Then who brought you to this island? Him. And who brought you to this island to play and forget the time? It's also him. Su Yuxuan only asked these two questions, and directly closed the coffin. Forget the time? I think he did it on purpose. He deliberately brought you here, deliberately left you on the island so late, and deliberately went to your room. Although her brother was right, Su Yiyan still tried her best to salvage the situation. Brother, there was really thunder and rain last night. It was very loud, and I was afraid to be alone, so I asked him to come and accompany me. And you should have seen it just now. He slept on the floor, and I slept on the bed. The first two things are fine, but it can't be that the thunder and lightning, the storm and the storm were all arranged by him, right? This time, it was Su Yuxuan's turn to choke. Just as his sister said, no matter how powerful Hua Chenhuan was, he didn't have the ability to call the wind and summon the rain, nor the ability to control lightning. So, all of this was just a coincidence? Even the heavens were on his side? Su Yuxuan's face darkened just as this thought popped up in his head. Aya, how infuriating. Su Yiyan saw her brother's face change several times, becoming darker and darker. She knew something was wrong and quickly changed the topic. Brother, why are you here? Shouldn't you be in the office at this time? The company is not as important as you. Su Yuxuan's face darkened as she snorted. You didn't come home last night, and your phone couldn't be reached. Mom and Dad were so worried that they almost called the police. Su Yiyan looked embarrassed. Didn't anyone tell you that I'm not going back? It would have been better if Su Yiyan hadn't mentioned this. Now that she mentioned it, Su Yuxuan's face darkened even more. Of course there is. It's because he came to our house and told us that you wouldn't be coming back tonight, and would be staying at his young master's place that Mom and Dad were even more nervous. You're not even married yet, and you're already staying at his house. If this gets out, who knows what people will say about you? When they couldn't get through to Su Yiyan's phone, they were still worried that something might have happened to her. Now that they knew she was fine, they were relieved, but at the same time, they had a new worry. Su Yiyan had already been subjected to a lot of criticism because of the incident between the Su family and the family Hua. If people found out about today's incident, who knew what kind of infuriating things they would say? Su Yiyan looked embarrassed. She smiled and said, "This place is so secluded. No one would know about it, right? Moreover, we're engaged. It's normal for us to live together and try to get married." Chapter 189. Su Yiyan's expression stiffened, and she said awkwardly, "I was just giving an example." Su Yuxuan breathed a sigh of relief, but he still felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. He complained in a low voice, "You also know that this place is remote. How dare you foolishly follow him to such a remote place? Aren't you afraid that he will eat you up?" Su Yiyan said in her heart, "Didn't I fall asleep and wake up here? How could I have known that this place was so remote?" However, she couldn't say this out loud. If she really said it, she had no doubt that her elder brother would thoroughly beat Hu Chenhuan into a scheming boy and rush back to fight with him. "I'm fine, aren't I? How dare he? Let's see if Dad and I will break his legs." Su Yiyan. "You really don't need to do that." Su Yuxuan seemed to have realized this after shouting. His face darkened, and he became more and more depressed. "Anyway, that's what happened. After that guy went to our house to report, Dad and Mom didn't sleep the whole night. I didn't sleep either. I asked them to send me here at dawn." What Su Yuxuan didn't say was that when he received the news last night, his first reaction was to go out to sea to look for her, but he was rejected by Gu Xiaoyang and the others for the same reason. With a belly full of anger, he waited until dawn and immediately urged Gu Xiaoyang and the others to bring him over. Along the way, he stabbed the bastard who abducted his baby sister countless times in his heart. "It's my fault. I promise I won't make such a serious mistake again." Su Yuxuan snorted coldly. "Even if you want to, I'm afraid you won't be able to do it again." Su Yiyan understood in her heart that when she went back this time, she was afraid that she would be forced to be watched by her parents until she got married. The two of them took the boat back to the opposite shore. Su Yiyan's mobile phone finally had a signal, so she called home immediately. Her mother answered the phone. Surprisingly, she did not reprimand Su Yiyan for not coming home last night. She only said, "Don't do this next time." Then she let it go. Compared to Su Yuxuan's recent ruckus, this place was terrifyingly calm. Su Yiyan once suspected that this was the calm before the storm. However, what Su Yiyan didn't know was that before she called back, Su Yuxuan had already reported everything that she had seen and heard on the island. Cheng Xiuqin and the others already knew that nothing out of the ordinary had happened between the two of them, which was why they were so calm. Otherwise, Su Yuxuan would not be the only one with murderous intent. When Su Yiyan returned home, Cheng Xiuqin and the others had just gone out to pick up her uncle. There was no one at home, which made her greatly relieved. However, since her uncle was here, it was time to nourish him and her aunt. She wanted them to work hard and try to make a baby. Cough, cough. Moreover, as the saying went, if you eat from others, you have to be soft-hearted. She cooked a good meal to make the elders happy. They couldn't blame her for yesterday's incident, right? Su Yiyan went into the kitchen with a little thought. Just as she connected to the internet, she saw a few notifications. Normally, she wouldn't look at this kind of entertainment news. Just as she was about to open the news, she saw a photo at the top. It was a publicity photo of a girl group, and a familiar figure was in the center of the publicity photo. Her smile was gentle and bright. Those who didn't know would think that she was very popular now and had a promising future. Chapter 190. Xia Junxing had only mentioned it yesterday when he was reporting to her about the company's work. He said that when Jinping had dug her own grave by scamming others on the internet to gain popularity, she did not expect to meet a tough opponent and fail on the spot, causing a negative impact. She was then persuaded to leave the show by the program team. It had only been a day since she was invited back. Obviously, she had used some unknown connections. Ning Chirui could no longer be her help, And she probably had not had time to hook up with her other spare tires. After thinking about it, it seemed that only Hua Xiaofeng could help her return to the stage at this time. Yes, last night, the female lead sneaked into the family Hua in disguise to visit the male lead who was still in bed. The two of them reconciled after talking. Early this morning, the male lead contacted a senior member of the program team and sent the female lead back. Su Yiyan smiled coldly. She is indeed the child of the world with her own protagonist aura. Not to mention that the family Hua is strictly guarded, and Hua Qihan's birthday banquet was so big before. Most people should already know what she looks like. No matter how much she disguises herself, how can she change her face? It's so easy to let her in. It's like a game. The world's consciousness has always given preferential treatment to the protagonists. What the host needs to do is to break this preferential treatment. This could be seen from the fact that those outstanding big shots would either lose their intelligence or inexplicably rapidly weaken, or even die when they met the two protagonists. Does the host want to replace her? Why should I replace her? She can stay if she wants. There are so many talented and good-looking people up there. If she has some ability, then so be it. If she doesn't have the ability and still insists on staying, she will only bring disgrace to herself. There was only one way to conquer others, and that was to work hard to make yourself better than anyone else. Opportunism was never a long-term solution. Even if you got some benefits for a while, there would be a day when you would suffer a backlash. Su Yiyan's sudden broadcast without warning could be said to be a pleasant surprise for those who were surfing the internet. Look at what I saw. Ha ha ha, while no one is around, I'm hugging the host and doing a 100-meter sprint. Upstairs, put her down. Where is there no one? I'm watching the streamer's live stream 24/7. If anyone wants to hug, it should be me. A group of people were arguing on the screen, fighting to take Su Yiyan away. In the end, it was the father of the number one on the leaderboard who stepped in. He gave her a few luxurious gifts and even replied in bold font on the screen. Mine. The noise on the screen stopped abruptly, and then the discussion became even more lively. This is a familiar scene. I knew it. The number one on the leaderboard in the previous livestream must have been hacked. That's right. The daddy who ranked first in the last livestream had a sudden change in style. Now that I think about it, I still can't accept it. Just as a bunch of similar comments were sent out, everyone saw two words floating across the top of the screen. Love you, the crowd. F***CK, did your account get hacked again? Wasn't he fine just now? Why did he change again? Is he suffering from a split personality? Boss, blink if you're kidnapped. This is the internet. How do you expect her to blink at you? Be good, baby. Don't be naughty. Return the phone to your mother. Su Yiyan was a little touched when she saw the words, love you. However, after seeing these funny comments, this touch was replaced by schadenfreude. She secretly wondered how a certain someone who had become a mother would feel at this moment. Chapter 191. A certain someone who had just become a mother didn't feel anything. No one could make him take off the vest that he had put on with all his might. After a while, Su Yiyan was still protective. She coughed softly and said, there are a little more dishes to cook today, so I entered the live broadcast room in advance. Thank you to the little cutie who has been squatting in the live broadcast room to support me. Next, let's start with the custom-made private medicinal cuisine for the lucky viewer who drew the last live broadcast, Shouwu liver slices. The main herbs used are Shouwu Huangjing. Before Su Yiyan finished speaking, the screen was filled with complaints. Host, the Research Institute's announcement is talking about you, right? When will these medicinal herbs be officially sold? We've already prepared the money, but we can't even find a place to buy them. How can this be justified? Yes, we're still in a hurry to save lives. Please give us a specific time. This group of people had probably gone to bother the administrator of the Research Institute before, but they couldn't get anything out of him, so they could only come to Su Yiyan to try their luck. Su Yiyan frowned slightly and pondered for a moment before saying, due to the fact that these things are relatively rare, and the Research Institute doesn't have many finished products, A large part of them may be kept as seeds for priority cultivation. It will take some time for them to be sold publicly. Considering that some people's illnesses really can't be delayed, how about this? For some seriously ill patients whose lives are at stake, you can try to send a medical record to the research institute. After the research institute verifies that there are indeed medicinal herbs in the institute that can treat the disease, they will provide them with priority. As for how to verify and what standards to use for verification, the research institute had a ruler to measure. It wasn't something that Su Yiyan should worry about. However, I'll make it clear in advance that the effects of medicinal herbs on diseases vary from person to person. It may not be suitable for everyone. Please be mentally prepared for this. As soon as Su Yiyan said this, the audience in the live broadcast room boiled over again. Due to the support of the research institute, the number of viewers in her live broadcast room had already exceeded 1 million and was rapidly approaching 2 million. Her favorability was also constantly increasing. At this rate, she estimated that she would be able to smoothly advance to level 3 by the end of this live broadcast. Woof. I'm going to send the medical record to the research institute now. My grandfather's illness can't be delayed any longer. Sure enough, the key lies with the host. After all, the host is the main owner of the medicinal herbs. Speaking of which, my period is coming soon. Can I submit a medical record if I have severe menstrual cramps? I also want to ask, is there any medicine for toothache? Can you give me a medical record as well? The two above, listen carefully. This is a critically ill patient whose life is at stake. Why are you adding to the chaos? I don't like what you're saying. Haven't you heard that toothache isn't an illness? Does it hurt like hell? In just a moment, the audience had already started arguing about what a life-threatening patient was. Su Yiyan did not stop them. He concentrated on washing the ingredients that he needed. He first added the fleece flower root and sealwort into the pot and boiled them for about 10 minutes. Then he added the cut carrots, pig liver, and abalone mushrooms. Tuber fleece flower has the effect of tonifying liver and kidney, replenishing blood essence, black beard and hair, and strengthening muscles and bones. Sealwort also has a certain effect on the deficiency of spleen and stomach, and early white beard and hair. When the audience heard this, their hearts skipped a beat. Black beard and hair. Was it what they thought it was? Paired with pig liver that replenishes blood, it has the effect of nourishing yin and blood, as well as preventing hair loss. Chapter 192. F***CK. Can this stuff really cure hair loss? Baldies, please save us. My long wait in this live broadcast room was not in vain. It's finally our turn. I beg the goddess of luck to bless me, and let me draw this pot of soup. Did the person above forget that this is the medicinal cuisine exclusive to the lucky audience from the last live broadcast? Sob sob sob, I'm jealous. So, can I take it that the lucky audience from the last live broadcast was bald? Blind student, you've discovered something. What's wrong with being bald? Does being bald have no human rights? If not for the sake of living, who would stay up late and go bald at such a young age? It's too difficult to be bald. QEQ. She watched as a group of bitter baldies clamored on the bullet screen, asking Su Yiyan if she could show them some pity. Even if she couldn't popularize the medicinal herbs as soon as possible, she could at least draw a few more lucky audience members to give them some hope. Su Yiyan frowned slightly. She couldn't help but have some thoughts in her mind. She did have some of these medicinal herbs in her hands. However, as the number of viewers in her live broadcast room increased, her favorability rapidly increased. Not only did the area of her farm expand, but the soil had also been upgraded to a certain extent. As a result, the medicinal herbs she produced were much more effective than the ones she used before, not to mention the ones cultivated by the Research Institute. She was now reducing the amount of these ingredients she added into the medicinal cuisine. In order to be in line with the Research Institute, it was impossible to sell them separately. However, if she only sold the finished medicinal cuisine, Su Yiyan's mind was spinning 1,000 times, but her hands didn't stop moving. After making the fleece root lung slice, she stewed 2 soups as quickly as possible, lotus seed Cerealia pork loin soup and Angelica ginger lamb soup. Su Yiyan didn't introduce the two soups much when she made them. This made the audience, who had long been used to Su Yiyan explaining while making, feel very awkward. They spontaneously asked about the effects of the two soups, as well as the effects of some unknown medicinal herbs that they had seen used in them. Su Yiyan saw that she couldn't escape, so she blushed and said, "This is lotus seed Cerealia pork loin soup. Lotus seed has appeared before, and I've also introduced it before. Cerealia has the effect of anti-aging and nourishing the nests. When paired with walnuts that nourish the kidneys, the three ingredients together have the effect of improving the balance of estrogen and enhancing, sexual desire." As soon as the introduction came out, the bullet screen was dead silent for a few seconds. Then it exploded like a blowout. F***CK, isn't that the same effect as sexy streamer, driving online? I'm just watching a gourmet livestream. If not, I'll add a livestream of medical science and Chinese herbal medicine. Why did I suddenly turn a corner and start driving? Host, have you been infected by the host's father? Ha 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 ha, look at how nervous the streamer is. It looks like this is your first time driving. Come on, let's have fun. Driver, open the door. This is not the bus to the kindergarten. I want to get off. The doors are welded shut. No one is allowed to get out of the car. Let us run to the finish line together. Sob sob sob, the few people in front, be careful. If this goes too far, our livestream room will be blocked. Shrug hand. JPG. Su Yiyan had already expected these guys to react this way, so she planned to be vague in the beginning. She didn't expect that she still couldn't escape. Chapter 193. Unfortunately, these words had no effect on the audience, who were already laughing like crazy. Yes, yes, yes. It's not that exaggerated. We understand, we understand. See through, but don't say it out loud. It's not suitable to discuss this topic in public. Skip, skip. Look at this car. It's big and yellow, and it drives very fast. Not bad, not bad. Su Yiyan was speechless. It seemed like they didn't listen at all. Su Yiyan sighed helplessly when she realized that she couldn't get through to them. She didn't continue to argue and started talking about the second soup. Things like moral integrity were really something that one would get used to over time. When she started talking about the first soup, Su Yiyan was at a loss. Now that she was talking about the second soup, she felt like she had nothing left to lose. Angelica ginger mutton soup. Angelica can nourish the blood and regulate the essence. Mutton can nourish the kidneys. Paired with ginger to dispel the cold, it has a great effect on kidney yang deficiency. Kidney yang deficiency? I think I know something. I think so too. Me too. A lot of meaningful comments floated through the bullet screen. Finally, an audience member pointed it out. Host, are you planning to make a baby with your husband? Su Yiyan's face turned completely red when she saw the bullet screen. This batch of audience members was really bad. Every one of them had such a wide range of thoughts. Hua Chenhuan, who was watching the live broadcast, saw this and her face darkened. Even Zhuo Yanbai, who was accompanying her today, was implicated. Fortunately, he quickly calmed down and said in a low voice, "As far as I know, Miss Su's uncle should be arriving at the Su family's house today." Hua Chenhuan raised her eyebrows and motioned for him to continue. Miss Su's uncle and aunt have been married for nearly 20 years, but they haven't been able to conceive a child. I saw that Miss Su's previous live broadcasts were full of dishes that nourished women's bodies and increased the chances of pregnancy. Judging from all these two soups are probably prepared for her uncle and aunt. After listening to his explanation, Hua Chenhuan's expression finally improved a little. Zhuo Yanbai also breathed a sigh of relief. He was glad that he had been paying attention to the movements of the Su family and saved his worthless life at the critical moment. Coincidentally, Su Yiyan could not help coughing lightly and explained awkwardly, "It's not me, it's the elders in my family." So it's an elder. I'm a little disappointed. The streamer had said before that she was already married. Was she really not going to try and make a baby? I can't be the host's husband, but I can be the host's child. Beast, what are you trying to do to the streamer's child? Why are you so agitated? I just want to say that I can be the hosts-in-law. What are you thinking? Nose-picking. Nose-picking. Is the person who asked the streamer to make a baby stupid? If the streamer is pregnant, it means that she has to take care of the fetus. Can she still broadcast so frequently while taking care of the fetus? Be clear about the main points. Don't lose sight of the big picture for the small. F***CK, I didn't think of that. Suyiyan. Hey, that's enough. You guys were just making babies before, and now you're starting to nurture a fetus? Do you have to be so imaginative? As the person involved, I can't keep up. Fortunately, the last viewer's words woke everyone up. The army of people who wanted to have babies was quickly defeated by the shocking idea of the streamer might not broadcast live if she's pregnant. They all closed their mouths and, as Suyiyan wished, began to complain about Suyiyan's elders. Chapter 194. Suyiyan looked at the screen full of viewers who wanted to be her relatives. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, but she did not say anything. This was the longest live broadcast Suyiyan had ever done. It took about 3 hours before Suyiyan finally finished cooking all the dishes. She packed the dishes that she had gotten from Ning Chirui and Hua Chenhuan, and sent them out. She almost collapsed. The thoughts in her heart were magnified countless times at this moment. She could not go on like this. She had to shoulder this burden before she died from overwork. Before that, she had to find an ally first. The first person that Suyiyan targeted was her biological uncle, who had come from the same place. As the saying goes, a nephew resembles his uncle. From Suyuxuan, one could tell what kind of person Suyiyan's uncle was. It was not that the two looked alike, but that their temperaments were similar. They were the kind of people who looked gentle and refined on the surface, but were actually evil. Moreover, they were very protective of their family members. No matter how awe-inspiring they were outside, at home, they were gentle and warm men who put their family members first. Like Qin Xueru, Cheng Juanhao, who had been married for many years without children, had long regarded his sister's children as his own. From the moment he saw Cheng Xiuqin and the others, he either asked his wife or asked why the 2 children did not come with them. Cheng Xiuqin and the others interrupted and told him frankly at first, but thinking that he was tired from the journey, they only replied vaguely, "They have something to do." Cheng Juanhao was suspicious, but he did not ask much. He followed the others back to the Su family's house and smelled a special fragrance. "What's this smell? It smells so good." Cheng Xiuqin and the others' eyes lit up slightly. They smiled faintly and said, "It should be Yin cooking." Cooking? During this time, Cheng Juanhao learned from his wife that his precious niece had recently learned to cook, and the food she cooked tasted good. His wife, who originally had no appetite and was rapidly losing weight, gained a few kilograms of weight. Her complexion was also much better than before. However, Cheng Juanhao couldn't help but feel a little dazed when he smelled it personally. Coincidentally, Suyiyan had finished cleaning up the mess and came out of the kitchen. "Uncle?" Suyiyan quickly ran over and gave him a hug. "You must be tired from the journey. I made some dishes to welcome Uncle. If there's nothing else, let's eat first." Su Yuxuan was carrying 2 plates of food in front of Suyiyan. Her eyes lit up when she saw them. Only the heavens knew how torturous it was for him to stay outside for the past few hours without being able to eat. "Since you're all back, let's eat." As soon as Cheng Xiuqin and the others heard that it was time to eat, they immediately left Cheng Juanhao, the main character of the welcome party, and gathered around the table like little chicks waiting to be fed. Cheng Juanhao, who was a little unaccustomed to their style, was pulled over by his brother-in-law in the end. However, he soon understood why they were acting so abnormally. One after another, fragrant dishes came out of the kitchen like flowing water. Even Cheng Juanhao couldn't help but swallow his saliva, let alone Cheng Xiuqin and the others who had already eaten other delicacies. Their eyes were green with envy. After the dishes, there was soup. There were too many things to cook today. In order to save time, Suyiyan directly made a large stew pot that could stew several small pots at once. She stewed a pot of soup for everyone in the family. Chapter 195. This one is for Auntie, and this one is for Uncle. Su Yayan brought out the soup and distributed it to everyone. The others were used to it, and they just stared at the soup in front of them. It was Cheng Juanhao's first time seeing such a scene. He looked at the soup in front of him, and then at his wife's soup in confusion. Why is the soup different? This is a tonic soup with medicinal herbs. Men and women have different tonics, so the soup is naturally different. Cheng Juanhao did not know much about this, so he asked suspiciously, "There's such a thing?" "Of course. Why would I lie to you, uncle?" Cheng Juanhao nodded and did not say anything else. On the other hand, old Master Chen glanced at their soup. He thought about how his granddaughter had been nourishing Qin Shueru's body all this time. So he could more or less guess the effect of these soups. He lowered his head slightly and hid the smile on his face. Cheng Xiuqin and the others could more or less guess this, so they smiled and tried to smooth things over. What does it matter if it's the same or not? The key is whether it tastes good or not. Speaking of which, it's all thanks to you today. Although Yin Yin usually cooks, it's not as sumptuous as today. We'll talk about other things later. Let's eat first. With such a big table of dishes, it won't taste good when it gets cold. After Cheng Xiuqin said that, they no longer paid attention to the 2 bowls of soup in front of Cheng Juanhao and his wife. They focused on eating. Cheng Juanhao did not eat much on the way here, so he was indeed a little hungry now. Coincidentally, the dish in front of him was his favorite fish, so he picked up a mouthful and put it in his mouth without thinking. In the next second, an indescribable excitement rushed from his tongue to his head, causing his entire face to turn red. This. Qin Shueru saw him like this and quickly poured a glass of cold water for him. Cheng Juanhao drank half the glass of cold water before he finally calmed down. He slurred and said, "This fish. Why is this fish so spicy?" Qin Shueru had been married to him for so many years, but this was the first time she saw him in such a sorry state. She could not help but laugh. "There's chili in it." "Chili? Those red ones are much spicier than ginger." Su Yiyan pointed at the red chili peppers on the plate. "My brother and dad both like spicy food, so I made more spicy dishes. If uncle doesn't like the taste, there's also a plate of sweet and sour fish. It's lighter." When Cheng Juanhao heard what she said, he didn't feel too conflicted. He first tried the sweet and sour fish, and the taste was indeed a little bland. Although it was delicious, he didn't like sweet things. After a moment of hesitation, he reached for the spicy steamed Christian carp. This time, at least he was mentally prepared. While it was spicy, he also felt that this fish tasted better than any fish he had eaten before. The first mouthful was a little stimulating, but the second mouthful started to get used to it. The third mouthful was enough, and by the fourth mouthful he couldn't stop anymore. Su Yiyan raised his head while holding his bowl, and saw his uncle frequently reaching for the spicy dishes on the table. His face was red from eating, but he still couldn't bear to put down his chopsticks. Great, another spicy person who was captivated by chili peppers. Fortunately, she would make some tea for them to drink every day to reduce internal heat. Otherwise, they would have been tortured to death by constipation and other side effects. Chapter 196. Cheng Juanhao touched his bulging belly. For the first time in his life, he felt what it felt like to be too full. At the same time, he finally understood why his wife didn't want to stay at home after a few days. If he could eat such delicious food every day, he also wanted to stay here for a long time. Once people were full, it was not easy to think about those bad things. Su Yiyan suddenly made so many dishes today. On one hand, it was to welcome Cheng Juanhao. On the other hand, she wanted to use this opportunity to please Cheng Xiuqin and others so that they wouldn't take last night's incident to heart. Cheng Xiuqin and others obviously knew this. For the sake of the table full of food, they didn't say anything to Su Yiyan. After the meal, they went to the yard to stroll around to digest. Cheng Juanhao wanted to follow them, But Su Yiyan stopped him first. Uncle, I have something to discuss with you. Cheng Juanhao was stunned. Looking at his niece's bright smile, he was a little puzzled. What is it? I want to open a restaurant. Open a restaurant? What kind of restaurant? A medicinal cuisine restaurant. Cheng Juanhao was confused. What's a medicinal cuisine? It's a little troublesome to explain. What do you think of the food just now? It's delicious. Yinyan's dishes are 100 times better than those in high-end restaurants outside. Then if I take them out to sell? Cheng Juanhao grasped the key point. You want to open a restaurant? Yes. A medicinal cuisine restaurant could be considered a kind of restaurant. Cheng Juanhao thought for a moment. Then why are you looking for me? I heard that uncle has a shop in the city that has been abandoned and unused. You want to buy that shop? Yes. Cheng Juanhao said without thinking. Okay. That shop was left behind by your grandmother. It has been abandoned all these years. If you want it, you can use it. I originally planned to give it to you as a dowry when you get married. Su Yiyan was slightly stunned. She hurriedly said, No. I can't take such a shop for free. How about this? After I open the shop, Uncle, you can be counted as a shareholder. When the shop is profitable, I'll give you a bonus. Cheng Juanhao frowned and was a little unhappy. We're family. Why are you being so polite? Although we're family, even blood brothers debts clearly. Uncle, if you say so, I'll be embarrassed to ask you for help. Cheng Juanhao heard her unspoken words and shook his head helplessly. Tell me, what else do you want me to help you with? I definitely can't open the shop alone. I'm short of manpower. After all, there's a layer of separation between us. I don't really trust the people outside. I was just wondering if Uncle could transfer a few trustworthy people from the Cheng family to help out. You can rest assured about their salary. We will definitely not treat them unfairly. Cheng Juanhao was almost amused by her. You haven't even opened the shop yet, but you're already acting like a boss? Uncle. Okay. I won't talk about it. It's not good to make mistakes when opening a restaurant. I'll go back after a while and get you some people. Is that okay? I know Uncle loves me the most. Then I'll put all these into the bonus and give it to you together. Didn't I say you don't have to be so polite? No, I must. In the end, Cheng Juanhao couldn't win against Su Yiyan. He reluctantly agreed to Su Yiyan's proposal to get him to become a shareholder. Chapter 197. Grandpa, why are you here? Grandpa Cheng snorted with a straight face. I've been here the whole time. You were just too engrossed in your conversation and didn't notice me. Su Yiyan smiled guiltily. You heard everything just now. Yes. What do you think of my idea? Can a medicinal cuisine restaurant be opened? Of course it can be opened. The seeds of the research institute have only been planted not long ago. The only products that have matured are the ones you sent over. You're the only one who owns these things before they're fully circulated. The people at the research institute know the effects of these things very well. If you're willing to take them out to open a medicinal cuisine restaurant, they'll be more than happy to support your restaurant. Su Yiyan's eyes lit up slightly. If the research institute could really support her shop as her grandpa said, then her small shop would be a small shop with a strong backer. If anything happened in the future, she would have something to rely on. However, opening a restaurant isn't like sitting in an office. I'm afraid it'll be very tiring. Su Yiyan had already thought about this. She chuckled and said, It's fine. I've already asked my uncle for help. I'll find more people to help when the time comes. At the very least, I'll make a limited sale. I'll only make 100 or 200 servings a day. Isn't that what those high-end restaurants do? I know what I'm doing. I won't tire myself out. I'm naive. Grandpa Cheng knew his granddaughter very well. He was tough when he was tough, but he was also really soft when he was soft-hearted. She had already opened a restaurant. When people came to ask for help, she might really tire herself out. Su Yiyan smiled and didn't comment. Grandpa Cheng knew that she didn't take his words to heart. He continued to persuade her. It's a blessing and a curse that these things are in your hands. You may face a lot of trouble opening this restaurant. Some of it you may not be able to solve. Su Yiyan's smile faded slightly. She nodded and said, "Yes, I know." "Even so, you still want to open it?" "Yes. Since these things are in my hands, I have the responsibility to make the best use of them. Firstly, I can help some people by opening this shop. Secondly, I want to have a business that I've worked hard to build." "A business that you worked hard for?" Old Master Cheng's face darkened. "Didn't your parents leave you some assets?" "Yes, not long ago. Brother gave me an entertainment company to try out, but I don't think it's enough." "Not enough." Old Master Cheng's expression was slightly better, but he was still a little serious. "Do you think one company is too little? Then, grandfather, you misunderstood me." Su Yiyan knew what he was thinking. He laughed and said, "I just want to do something that I want to do and can do. I want to experience it and make myself better and better. Only then can I be worthy of him." Him. At first, Old Master Shen was pleased with Su Yiyan's progress, but when he heard the last sentence, his face darkened. Su Yiyan's small face blushed slightly. Under the old man's intense gaze, she said embarrassedly, It's. Seeing her like this, the old man immediately understood. "Family host kid?" "Yes." Chapter 198. Su Yiyan looked at her grandfather, who rolled up his sleeves and looked like he was ready to hit someone at any time, as if his Achilles heel had been poked. She was stunned for a moment, then quickly went forward and hugged his arm, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. No one said anything to me. I think Chen Huan is too good, so." Grandpa Cheng's expression became slightly better, but he still curled his lips and said sourly, "What's so good about him?" Su Yiyan could tell that he was not convinced. She held back her laughter and said, "He's good in all aspects. He's good-looking, gentle to me, loyal and protective." Grandpa Cheng could not stand it anymore. "How do you know he's loyal? How long have you known each other? Be careful not to be deceived." "I believe him. He won't lie to me." A man who had silently protected her for a lifetime, sacrificed everything to avenge her after her death, and even left everything behind to die generously after his revenge. If he was not loyal, then there was no one else in the world who was loyal. Find a time to ask him out. I want to see how good this man who can make you praise him so much is." Su Yiyan smiled. "Okay." Grandpa Cheng calmed down after a while, then suddenly asked, "Why did you choose your uncle's shop? If I remember correctly, your parents have many shops under their name. If you ask, they should be very happy to give it to you." "My parents do have many shops under their name, but those shops are not as good as my uncle's. Just because of this." Su Yiyan was slightly startled, then jokingly said, "Grandpa, do you think my medicinal cuisine can make money?" "If a unique and useful thing can't make money, what else can? Since it can make money, it's better to keep the goodies within the family. It's something that can make money anyway. It's better to give it to your own family than to give it to outsiders, isn't it?" Grandpa Cheng looked at the child who could be said to have been brought up by him, and suddenly realized that the little girl who liked to run around behind him had really grown up. Although the Cheng family was a scholarly family, they had a wide network of connections and had many good friends. Thus, they had offended many people as well. In recent years, some people who didn't like them saw that he was getting old and Cheng Juanhao didn't have a successor. On the surface, they didn't dare to do anything, but behind their backs, they instigated some of the side branches of the family to have other thoughts, stirring up a foul atmosphere within the family. Although the Cheng family had connections, sometimes, it wasn't enough to solve a problem just by relying on connections. When it came to money, a single copper coin could really drive a hero to his death. Old Master Cheng thought that he and Cheng Juanhao had kept all these troubles a secret, and Cheng Xiuqin and the others didn't know about it either. He didn't expect that a little girl like Su Yiyan would see through it. Cheng Juanhao did not know the value of the Chinese herbs in Su Yiyan's hands. He thought that Su Yiyan just wanted to play with her on a whim. He would not lose much money anyway. As for the dividends that Su Yiyan mentioned, he was very pleased with her intentions, but he didn't take it to heart. Grandpa Cheng was different. He knew very well that if Su Yiyan could really open the shop and keep it going, then the dividends would be beyond Cheng Juanhao's imagination. Yin Yan, you're a good child. Your uncle and aunt didn't dote on you in vain all these years. Su Yiyan smiled. Uncle and aunt dote on me, but don't you? I know who's good to me in this world. Chapter 199. De Lu was an old programmer in Chenyuan Technology's technology department. He was in his early 30s and had been in the technology department for 5 to 6 years. To an ordinary man, this age was considered the prime of his life. De Lu asked himself if he felt the same way. However, the Mediterranean Sea above his head, which was as shiny as a braised egg, had made him age by more than 10 years. He did not look like a young, handsome uncle whose daughter had just entered kindergarten. Instead, he looked like an old, middle-aged wretched man. Because of this, De Lu was often despised by his wife. He was even glad that he had married early. Otherwise, with his current appearance, he probably would not even be able to find a wife. 2 days ago, when it was close to getting off work, the company suddenly issued an urgent task. They were to go to the future lady boss's live stream to block some malicious ghostwriters. They were also to find out their IP addresses, chat records with their employers, and a series of chain information. De Lu touched his little Mediterranean Sea egg. He was actually a little resistant to working overtime, but when he thought of the high overtime pay, he was a little tempted. His precious little princess had just started kindergarten. There were many places where she would need money in the future. He wanted to earn as much as he could now. After all, he had a wife and a daughter now. So what if he was bald? With this thought in mind, De Lu went all out. Not only did he block a lot of accounts, but he also responded to his boss's call. He used the identification of his wife, his 7 aunts, and various relatives to register an account on the future lady boss's livestream. He followed the future lady boss's livestream and became one of her fans. Perhaps the heavens took pity on him for going bald at such a young age. When the lady boss said that she would pick a lucky viewer from the livestream and tailor a medicinal cuisine for him, De Lu was watching the livestream with his wife's account. In the end, he did not pick his own account, but his wife's account was picked. De Lu was stunned. He could not believe that an African mafioso like him, who had never won a lottery in his 30-odd years of life, would have a day when his luck would change. Ahem, his wife's account was also his account. He had won the lottery. There was nothing wrong with that. After the joy, De Lu was a little conflicted and embarrassed. He sent a photo of his bald head and began to wait anxiously. During the second live stream, he followed the live stream so that he could see what kind of medicinal cuisine the other party had prepared for him. De Lu, it's time. Aren't you going to take some nutrient fluids and find a meeting room to sleep? I still have a new project in the afternoon, and I'll probably have to work overtime again tonight. The colleague sitting next to De Lu saw that it was time to get off work, but De Lu was still sitting there motionless, so he kindly reminded him. De Lu forced a smile. You go first. I have something to take care of. I'll be there soon. Then I'll leave first. After that person left, the other colleagues in the office also left one after another. In the end, only De Lu was left. Right at this moment, a clear greeting came from outside. Excuse me, are you Mr. Lu? Your takeout is here. De Lu's eyes lit up, and he rushed out as fast as he could. It was a small bowl of sliced steamed mushroom liver. There wasn't much of it, so De Lu cherished it very much. After drinking a few mouthfuls of soup, it was gone. When he was done, he even smacked his lips, as if he hadn't had enough. After savoring the aftertaste, he remembered to touch the top of his head. It was still smooth to the touch. He was a little disappointed, but also felt that it was within his expectations. Chapter 200. After adjusting his state of mind, De Lu threw the matter to the back of his mind. He did not expect the change to happen the next day. What's wrong? De Lu looked up and met his wife's confused and surprised gaze. Is your head? My head. De Lu was stunned. He remembered the bowl of soup he drank the day before, and thought that he had grown hair overnight. He excitedly reached out to touch his head, but he could not feel anything. Dalu was speechless. Dalu's wife blinked. She also felt that it was unlikely. She coughed awkwardly and said, "Maybe it's just my imagination. I feel like the spot on your head has darkened a little." Dalu's emotions were like a roller coaster. He did not dwell on the matter, and went to the company dispiritedly. He thought that was the end of the matter. He did not expect that in the next few days, the bald spot on his head would change little by little. On the morning of the 5th day, a patch of hard hair grew out of his barren head. F***ck, my hair is really growing. It's really growing. Dalu looked at his changed head in the mirror. His eyes were hot and he almost rushed out to tell the world that he finally had hair. However, he did not need to tell the world. Anyone with eyes could see the change. Dalu did not say it out loud, but deep down he felt inferior. Usually, he would only dare to go to work with a wig. But today he did not wear a wig. He openly revealed his bald head. No, it wasn't bald. There was actually a layer of black stubble on top of his head. The famous balding boss in the design department had hair. The news spread like wildfire. It quickly spread throughout the technical department, and even gradually spread to the entire company. What were programmers most afraid of these days? Baldness. Especially baldness that resembled the Mediterranean Sea. All four sides remained, except for the bald spot in the middle. It looked like a smooth tea egg. It was even more embarrassing than being completely bald. It was fine that everyone was bald. They had agreed to bear the burden of baldness together, but he secretly grew hair himself. Unavoidably, Dalu became the main focus of all the programmers in the technical department. Not long after he started work, he received countless inquiries. Ever since Big Lou joined the company, this was the first time he had enjoyed such treatment, so he didn't hide anything. He told her everything in detail about how he was selected in the future Lady Boss's livestream, how he drank a bowl of medicinal cuisine personally made by the future Lady Boss, and how his hair grew out a few days later. Everyone looked at each other when they heard this. Then someone suddenly said, "Previously, Director, you seem to have said that he could help us ask for Lady Boss's medicinal cuisine as company benefits?" As soon as this was said, the entire technical department was in an uproar. Therefore, that afternoon, when Yuzian went to Zuyenbai to hand over his work to Qinyuan, he was met with countless programmers who were eagerly eyeing him. "President Yu, you said before that you could help us get the Lady Boss to treat our illness through the back door as an employee benefit. Is that still valid?" Yuzian froze for a moment, feeling a little awkward. At that time, he had just said it casually. Considering that his boss's identity hadn't been exposed yet, and the Lady Boss still didn't know that Onlooker was a business under his young master's name, this matter wouldn't be so easy to achieve. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.